Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Hope you're well. A fine Bowlsby Wednesday to you and yours. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Want to watch the show performed? You can on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in ESPN Tallahassee. You'll find us. Type in the Jeff Cameron Show. You'll be good. All 3 hours of the program, upon its conclusion, get posted both to iTunes and our own audio vault. You can also find it in the free WTSM app, which is good for your mobile devices. Get it now. Email us, jcs@979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's at jcameron show. It's also at 979 ESPN Radio if you want to Periscope. It's National Early Signing Day. Is that what you call it now? Now, National Early Signing Day?
The early signing period,
Early signing
because you've
period.
got 3 days of time to do it.
I think people just refer to it as National Signing Day right now. But early signing period predictions were made leading up to today, and not all of those individuals have signed on the line, which is dotted, and that is disconcerting. Most importantly, Florida State does not get Sam Howell. He decides to sign with North Carolina. Now, he's a young man from North Carolina, and I'm sure that had a big part in the decision. It seemed like in the last couple of weeks, the dad more and more would like the son to stay home, and Florida State was in a little bit of flux, and that gave them the out. And so today, Sam Howell signs with North Carolina, and so you ask, what in the world are we going to do at quarterback? What in Sam Howell, Tom Lang, are we going to do at quarterback?
What in the Sam Howell?
Yeah, the frustration amongst the many is evident. And, look, but I just look at big picture. Nothing happened today that is earth-shattering. The Derek Hunter kid, the four-star end, who's really going to be interior, he's a kid that some people had told me they thought would go elsewhere. And it's interesting. I'm not trying to cast aspersions upon this kid, but I would just say that those people who mentioned he might go to Texas A&M said that might be good for us. Because we're trying to change not only the level of talent on the team, but the culture. And we don't need me first guys. We need guys that are about building this thing back up, playing for each other, and building a different culture. And I don't know Derek Hunter from Adam. I don't know him from the guy that just walked by while we started the show. I don't know him. So I don't know what kind of person he is. It was just interesting to hear people say, that guy could be a problem in the locker room. Might be good that he goes elsewhere. Now, if you don't know that or you hadn't heard that, you think Florida State just lost a four-star lineman. That
Here comes some sour grapes takes.
Could be valuable.
Was he even a take anyway?
Yeah, well, right. But I do know this. I know that, and I'll go through the people that have said yes and signed with Florida State, and there's some great names on here. And some, more importantly, some names that fill needs. But when you hire a new coach, you expect, everybody to buy in to the message, to the vision, right? You expect results. Clearly that didn't happen on the field this year. And you expect an uptick in momentum in recruiting and at least a little 2-year window that helps jumpstart the tenure of the new coach. A lot of times you see that happen when a guy arrives somewhere where they've been struggling, new coach comes in, regardless if he's a good coach, bad coach, what his reputation is, he goes to a new place, everybody gets excited, the fan base is enthusiastic, the message is different, and you'll see a slight uptick in success rate in recruiting early on, especially for programs that then take the step forward that you're looking to take when you brought them in to begin with, and then the momentum starts to build and you get it going in the right direction. And that if that doesn't happen early, if you aren't able to make a real impact early in your tenure as a new head coach somewhere, it's not impossible to right the ship, but it begins to feel like a much more difficult, arduous task. And I got to tell you that when this all ends, I don't think Florida State fans, and I don't even think objective people would tell you that this is going to be an incredible class. They're going to tell you it meets some needs. There's some real talent here. Hopefully it's the beginning of something good. But given the history of elite recruiting classes that Florida State's been able to bring in over the last 3 decades, people will take a step back from this and say, it's all right.
Well, I think if this finishes, to be on balance here, if this finishes in the top 15 consensus, I think you did see the uptick in recruiting against the fact that we had a 5-7 season where we weren't organized, if that makes any sense. I think what that is really good recruiters doing the best they can with a terrible situation that they made on their own.
Yeah.
I think that's where we are, and that sucks. I don't want a recruiting uptick to help salvage a top 15 class where you finished top 12 or whatever it was last year when Willie joined the staff or took over the program.
Right. He did a great job
in the beginning of December.
Yeah, he did.
He did a great job of that. So what does that say? That says that we had a season that didn't live up to expectations, not just because of the record or what the fans expected, but the players.
Yeah,
the players expected to see something better than they saw on the field, and so a lot of them said, the hell with this.
So just as I said, I didn't want to cast aspersions on a player. I don't want to necessarily do that with Willie here either, but because we didn't live up to what we thought was going to happen, and then the following class doesn't live up to even the one he salvaged last second a year ago, people are going to do just that. They're going to go, well, man, come on, man. I don't feel like we're moving in the right direction. And today kind of affirms that a little bit for people, even though we got some really good players in this class. There's no denying that.
Because the overly simplistic take is, well, he's supposed to be at the very least a good recruiter, and you're telling me we're going to finish with this, a class in the teens, maybe the back half, closer to 20? Really? And this is supposed to be his bread and butter? That would be the overly simplistic take. But hell, man, I mean, it is a disappointing class relative to the expectations we had before the season started. There's no doubt about that.
There's no doubt about that. And I think that's the two things you got to separate, right? It's disappointing by way of comparison to the expectation when Willie took the job. And at the same time, it's understandable given that they did go 5-7 in year one and had, quite frankly, a pretty disastrous year.
Well, think about it this way. You thought you had Thibodeau for a long time, right? And I think the on-field product had a lot to do with the fact that kid said, ooh, boy.
Yeah, I'm going to take it to Oregon.
Right. He had his official visit to the weekend of Virginia Tech, which culminated with a wake-up call to all of us.
Well, you get resoundingly beaten there. The weather wasn't great, and he's a kid way out on the West Coast.
Now, Sam Howell is a complicated story. That's a mess. You may never have gotten him if Larry Fedora was still the coach at North Carolina anyway.
Let's lay that out real quick. Let's
Okay.
remind everybody what you're talking about here. Sam Howell had verbaled to Florida State forever and a day, and it looked real well. It looked real good. Walt Bell was his guy. So Walt Bell, who originally, I think, offered him way back when he was in 8th grade. I mean, it's crazy. Or we'll certainly talk to him. So Walt Bell leaves, and the thought is, oh, no, we're in deep trouble. Then all of a sudden, it looks like we're not in deep trouble. He's sticking by his verbal commitment. He feels good about Florida State. He says as much in interviews and talks about it. And so you think, okay, he wasn't just committed to a coach. He's committed to the university, and he has faith that everything's going to go right. And if we're able to assure him we're bringing in a top-notch offensive coordinator, it looks like he's going to stay true. So once again, what happened was you went from, okay, I'm really concerned, oh, man, we're going to lose him, to, oh, wait a minute, we're not going to lose him. Good, we're going to get our quarterback. Lord knows we need a quarterback to run the system. He seems like the right guy. We're going to be all right, especially now that we're telling him we're bringing in Kendall Briles. Looks like everything's going to be okay. Then all of a sudden, takes a visit to North Carolina. He's from North Carolina.
11th hour visit. It was on Sunday, yes.
People start going, well, why would you do that? I certainly don't like that. That's not a good sign. What are we doing here? And fast forward to where we are yesterday, and people were already safely saying, he's gone. We're not getting him. So today, by and large, you just get confirmation of what you suspected earlier in the week. He's gone. Point is, you lost a guy that had been committed to you forever. So now you've lost a 5-star kid out in California, Thibodeau. Now you lose your quarterback. And there's no way for people to take that any other way than to be soured.
Well, and to be clear, Thibodeau had never committed to us, but we were the leader in the clubhouse for his services for forever. And the fact that Oregon took him and not Alabama is an extra slap to the face, not because of the Willie ties, but because Oregon was a late emerging contender.
And because they're Oregon.
Right, exactly.
Jesus.
Well, and then if you lose Akeem Dent, if he doesn't sign during the early signing period.
He's not going to sign during the early signing period.
Okay, and he wants to take it to February. The longer this goes, the more likely it is that he doesn't stick with us. So now you've lost a 5-star number 1 defensive end prospect, a 5-star defensive back, quarterback, and the quarterback you thought that could run your system. So, yeah, I am a little bit pissed about that, and you should be too.
Right. That's what I mean. That's like when you lay it out there like that, there's no getting around those facts. Now, at the same time, those aren't overwhelmingly shocking developments. The Akeem Dent situation, as I understand it, was always going to be about what Alabama wanted to do, less about what his conviction as to whether he was going to Florida State or not, more about, well, if Alabama would take me, I'd go to Alabama, but I'm not even number one at the position that they want. I'm kind of second fiddle, perhaps, to the other 5-star that they're going to get because, of course, Alabama's going to sign the greatest class in the history of classes, again, break their own record. So there was a situation where it's an abundance of riches at Alabama, so he thought the fallback is to go to FSU, which is nice. But now Alabama may want him, and so he's going to delay.
Well, and like I said earlier in the week, I'm not going to reinvent the talking point where I used to laugh at Miami for taking a bunch of 3-stars. And it's like, well, they're only ranked so high because they're taking 26 kids and, 18 of them are 3-stars. If that's what we're looking at ratio-wise, then that's not great. But at the same time, if you're looking at needs, this is the positive part of the class. They've done a lot of work, a lot of good work in the last 2 to 3 weeks to get bodies here on campus, offensive line bodies, to help change and flip everything about that position. And you know what? That's not an exact science. There's a great article that was on The Athletic this week about offensive line recruiting, development, and trying to find the right guys to fit a program. Because the hit rate on those, if you look at NFL starters, what they were coming out of high school, going into college, the average star rating is something along the lines of 2.6, according to that article.
Offensive linemen, by far and away, are the most difficult to evaluate for these kinds of sites. Not all of them are manned by people who, ever played the position or played it at a high level or are former coaches or former players at all. And so most of us can look at a guy at wide receiver, running back, defensive back, linebacker, skill position guys and see blazing speed, amazing athleticism, and then say, yeah, I think that's going to translate. It's much more difficult to watch a kid in a small town dominating another high school kid through sheer size. Just completely bigger, stronger, dominating the line of scrimmage because he gets his hands on somebody, but he may have poor technique, poor footwork, may have any number of things, and you're now trying to project, well, can I mold that? Can I fix that? Will he be great on the next level? It's hard to know because you didn't get a light comparison.
Well, and now you have Deloach, who committed today and signed, which was big for them to secure those services because linebacker is a position of dire need, so you're approaching that one in the right way. And maybe you get another JUCO before this term is done in February. That would be a big help in terms of on the offensive line if Putnam signs tomorrow. So they're addressing needs. You're not in a dire need outside of the quarterback position for skill at this moment. You really are not on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, and we don't know what's coming down the pike, Tom, with a grad transfer at quarterback. There's a fallback here. We'll see.
But you better hit on that. Now, there are a couple of other actual signees.
4-star kid that had committed to Ole Miss originally.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah. There's more out there. The kid, it's like, his name's Legendary or Legrand or something like that.
Well, there's the other kid, too. There's the Justin Fields who we're going to pay to come here.
Well,
so then we don't have anything to worry about at that point.
I'd empty the pancake bank.
I would, too. Let me do this while I'm at it. And at 4 o'clock, Willie Taggart will have his press conference. So we spent a lot of time speculating on what this class is or is not, and disappointment or happiness or something in between, and what's rational and what's not. But I haven't told you who has signed, and I'll do that next. And it does fill some needs, some big needs. And, for starters, you mentioned offensive line. We'll go there. But also, we harkened back some time ago, Tom, where I told everybody I'd get us True Thompson. And I got us True Thompson right off the bat. And I feel good about that. That was a good get for me. I keep a streak alive of defensive tackles that I've been bringing to Florida State for years. True Thompson, I fell in love with the first time I ever saw him. Guaranteed my fellow Knowles we'd get him. We did.
Well, and nobody likes consistency or consistent storylines in recruiting because it's all about the splash on, the signing days.
National
but
signing
who's consistent was Dante Lucas.
The other guy brought us. So, that's 2 for 2. This year, I pulled a Cameron special. I went defensive line, offensive line. Normally, I give you 1. I can get you 1. I can't promise 2. We've had a better year.
But you can buy one, get one sometimes.
Sometimes BOGO works on the Cameron Show, and here's the deal. We've had a very good year at ESPN. I personally have had a successful year, so I was able to step up, Tom, and bring us a couple. I got us an offensive player and a defensive player. I'm not saying I did anything wrong. I'm just saying I was able to help out in a way that I can't usually do.
Well, and if you're not satisfied, then you can return them March of 2020. There you go. They've extended it. They've extended the trial period
that is true.
to March of 2020.
That's amazing. It's ridiculous. We'll go through who they are when we get back. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace and goodwill toward men. And the shepherds said one to another, Let us now go even unto Bethlehem. And they came with haste and found Mary and Joseph, and the babe lying in a manger. This Christmas, may your heart be filled with the glory of that first Christmas night, now and throughout the new year. A message of hope
from Dr. Eve James at Southern Smiles Family Dentistry in Quincy, 875-3908. Tasty Pastry Bakery, where Christmas cakes, cookies, and breads are ready for you. Call 893-3752. And the award-winning Tallahassee Family Magazine, bringing you real families, real stories, the real Tallahassee. Available at local retailers and online at tfmmagazine.com.
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, who's celebrating their 95th year in business this year, would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, the Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome our newest members from November. Advantage PA, Bumpa's Local 349, Core Construction, Epion Technologies, Events Registration, Found for Home, McGrew Law Firm, Movement Mortgage, Northwoods Baptist Church, Planet Fitness, Polished Effects Salon, S&S Environmental Consultants, SGS Technologies, Strategic Digital Services, Tally Mac Shack, Wolf and Saley CPAs, WordPress Tallahassee, and Zaxby's.
The Chamber is proud to support over 1,400 local businesses representing over 60,000 employees. For information on how your business can be a part of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104.
Hi, I'm President John Thrasher. I'm here with some of our outstanding marching chiefs. They've been invited to an incredible opportunity, and they need your help. Next June, the marching chiefs will travel to France and represent both the state of Florida and the United States at the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion on the beaches of Normandy. As both an Army veteran and the president of the university dedicated to student veteran success, I know what a meaningful opportunity this is for these talented musicians. But experiences like this can be out of reach for many students. So today, I'm asking for your support so we can send as many of our marching chiefs as possible to this monumental event. Visit give.fsu.edu/Normandy. Thank you, and go Noles!
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for our all-new Ultimate Cheesy Garlic Bread. How would you like it?
I'll take a skeptical grandma.
Set in her ways?
A smidge.
Grandma, try this Ultimate Meatball Marinara made with Ultimate Cheesy Garlic Bread. Melted mozzarella, Parmesan, garlic butter spread. It's just like yours.
Like mine? My grandmother's recipe?
Try it.
You know, my grandmother's cheesy garlic bread was never all that.
Subway, make it what you want. Limited time only at participating restaurants.
Na 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 na. I think I know what you're going for there.
Christmas time?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Great. That's my favorite Christmas song.
It is a great Christmas song.
It's perfect. It is Christmas time.
They were the first band that did all that, like all those guys together doing something for somebody.
Band-Aid?
Band-Aid, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Sting and Bono and all of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
they were
Bono
all-
was there.
it was
Bono
all
was
good.
there.
Yeah, it was all that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
It's good
Well,
stuff.
anyway, Christmas time. It is a time for those great Cuban sandwich trays, Jeff.
Pickles. Oh, baby. The pickles are always so crisp on those things.
I am the king of pickleness.
I like that, too. It's not a word, but it's an action.
Pickleness is a word. It certainly is. I just said it.
If you feel better about calling yourself the king of pickle, I'm not going to argue that you guys are the kings of the pickle. Gordos is the king of the pickle, but pickleness is not a word.
Pickleness? OMG, SMDH. Those all became words. Why not pickleness?
Those are abbreviations.
Well,
can you get an abbreviation for pickleness?
Pickleness?
Gordos, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I had a good problem today, Tom. I ran by a certain shopping center that we frequently discuss despite never receiving a penny from them. Someday, my friend, someday that's going to change.
I learned something about them today, that they own most of the plots of land where their shopping centers are, so they can dictate who comes in. Did you know that?
That's wise. Well, I saw two things that happened today that made me laugh, and this is going to lead to my story, and I'll get to these recruits here in a second. I had to go to that place, and it was the one on Thomasville Road. So that shopping center is a nightmare for parking. It's out of control. It's the one with the AT&T store and everything else, right? So
that's like the Blairstone location.
Just letting you know.
By Park, that thing is stupid.
It's crazy. Drives me nuts. Can't get in and out. Well, so I saw two things. One great, one not so great. First thing I saw was a knockdown, drag-out, screaming match over a parking space. So disappointing. I mean, replete with F-bombs and it was a man and a woman. Just back and forth. I thought I was going to get violent. It was awful, and it was awful. But while it was going on, and I was kind of watching closer because I didn't like the man's tone. Like, it started to make me nervous.
It's crossing the line where he may do something?
Yeah, I thought it was crossing the line, so I was watching closely, like, man, are we going to have to go over here and put an end to this? This is not good. I don't want to get involved in this, but I'm not going to let some woman get beaten. So, I mean, it was me and this other dude were watching very carefully. That's how out of line this guy was. And when it looked like it was starting to settle down a little bit and they were going to be able to resolve the situation without it coming to violence, the man turned around to me and said, "'Tis the season after you," and opened the door to where I was going. So, which was pretty cool. I was like, all right, that's funny. Well done. I said, "Thank you, sir." And he laughed too. And so we moved about our day. Then what happened, Tom, was really the bright spot of the afternoon. I came out of the Publix.
Oh, no.
Nobody would have had any idea.
Oh.
I can't believe I slipped up like that. I came out, Tom, and I was that guy. I was surveying the parking lot, and I could not remember where I couldn't find my car. And I was looking everywhere.
Why was that?
Well, Tom, I'll tell you. It's because I have a new car. And brand new. It's a 2019 Infiniti QX80. And it's a very nice vehicle, stunning even, some would say. And my friends at Craft Infiniti coerced me, certainly, to live in the lap of luxury.
It was all them, yeah.
And I said, well, I certainly have no problems driving a brand new Infiniti QX80 fully loaded as it is, and embrace the lap of luxury and see how the other half lives and perhaps embrace that as a way that I can live. And so we worked out a special deal. But in the coming days, I'm not accustomed to driving such an expensive and luxurious automobile. And I find myself looking around at the other average cars and subpar vehicles that are littered throughout the lot and trying to search for mine. And I can't find it because mine is this beautiful, well, I don't want to carry on. it's getting over the top as it is, Tom. I'll just say, finally, I remembered that I drive that car and not these other cars. And there is my silver and black, fully loaded QX80 from Infinity, Craft Infinity.
Personally, I'm surprised you're still talking to me. Like, why do you talk to me anymore? You've graduated, man. You've gone to a new level.
So I did walk it on over to the vehicle, and, of course, it has a key where if I press a certain code, it starts up and cools off for me or heats up. And I did that at a great distance. And so my car was ready to go. And I already pre-programmed what I needed once I got in there and seat molded to my ass cheeks, and we were able to go on down the road, Tom.
Oh,
but it's going to take some getting used to.
They put you in the wax facility, huh, to get that thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when you step up like that, they got to make sure every amenity is accounted for. So we're good to go. Just saying. And you, too, could have one of those. You just got to swing by the all-new Craft Infinity. All right, so the players, here they are. As I said, got you True Thompson, 3-star defensive tackle. 3-star, yes, but I think he plays like a 5, Tom. If I'm projecting him, I'm telling you that's a superstar. You saw the tapes. You know that kid can play.
Oh, he's a QX80 of a player, sir.
Forget about it. Derek McClendon out of Tucker, Georgia. Don't know him. Didn't break down his film, Tom. Did you break down his film for the show today?
Oh, God. Every snap I could find.
Okay, so defensive end. Well, we got the McCray kid, which I brought up yesterday, right? The outside linebacker. Who 4-star linebacker? I'll take that. I mean, got to trust that he's evaluated properly and that he'll be able to contribute because Lord knows our depth at linebacker is our lack of quality depth at linebacker is obvious. So come on down, young man. He comes from the IMG Academy. Curtis Fan is a defensive end. He committed. Malcolm Ray, a defensive tackle from Miami Carroll City. Tom, you were talking about him. He was previously a USF commit. He is here.
That's right. I mean, he realized that he was dyslexic, and he likes the order of the letters as FSU, not USF.
I thought you were actually commenting on his dyslexia and all that he had overcome.
He doesn't have, Other than the fact that he just got the university letters backwards. He's like, what
am I doing?
I was committed to Florida State. Ooh, that would have been bad.
What a disaster.
Yeah.
Kayvon Glenn, linebacker out of Georgia. He is coming here, 3-star. We got a wide receiver, Maurice Goolsby out of Dunellen. Beautiful Dunellen, Tom.
Oh, yes. Picturesque.
Renardo Green, a cornerback out of Apopka, is on his way here.
Home of the Blue Jeans Lounge.
Another. Do you think people remember that bit? Oh, the Blue Jeans Lounge.
That's about 8 years old now.
My God. Opalaka, which I've always liked to say. That's where Jarvis Brownlee came from, corner there. Jay Williams is the JUCO offensive tackle.
Brownlee is a sneaky good player. Just saying.
Tom's all over Brownlee, kids.
You might see 3 stars, but the people who know that kid say
5 all the way.
Well, he's trending the right way.
I like to hear that. We told you about the offensive tackle. There we go. Ding, 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 ding. Need more of that. Talk to me about these offensive linemen. Jay Williams comes over as a JUCO at Cahoon, California. And Maurice Smith is a 3-star guard out of Miami Central, Florida.
That was the kid who was committed to Boston College. And
you're damn right he was, and we said, nay. I like Boston College's offensive line as much as the next guy, but you come on up here and help Florida State University.
He may be a developmental project, but you know. Well, no. I'm not saying that as an independent thing.
I don't want to hear that.
Well, Adazio told you years ago
that you got to develop him. Yeah, I know.
You know, he's still an 18-year-old kid. They got no chance. But still, we like that he picks these guys, and he can see early on what they look like at 17 or 18. They turn out to be pretty good players.
That's true. Kalen DeLoach, we mentioned before, 4-star stud linebacker out of Georgia. Raymond Woody III, we know who he's related to. That was a no-brainer. 4-star athlete coming to Florida State University.
Safety, yeah.
And then Will Putnam is the offensive guard that I was really excited about. He'll be signing tomorrow or so, we hear. That looks to be really promising for Florida State. So, again, another big-time prospect at guard. That's a big deal. Did I mention Dante Lucas? What's the story there?
I believe he's signed.
It's not listed. Okay.
Uh-oh. Well, okay.
That better be the case. Yeah,
I think he's all null, man.
Yeah,
he says he can't wait to turn this thing around.
Yeah, what am I talking about? Yeah, he's in. But I guess he just hasn't officially done the.
Well, you know, it's going to be him and Williams, maybe Putnam. Tomorrow he signs. You think about there's 3 right there. Maybe you get another JUCO. All right, now we're working with 4 potential guys that you can work into the mix along with the 2 kids you redshirted this year. Maybe Landon Dickerson's back in the fold. Now you're talking about 6-7 bodies that you can rotate around, find the right five, and here we go. Let's
Yeah,
roll.
cooking with gas, man. Got to get this offensive line turned around. It doesn't, again, matter what we're talking about at the skill positions. If you can't block it up, we couldn't block it up last year. You got to give yourself a fighting chance here, no matter who's playing quarterback, no matter who the offensive coordinator is. You got to find a way to give yourself a fighting chance for these plays to work. They don't when you can't block. We couldn't block. I at least think with these commitments, the JUCO transfer, like you said, maybe a healthy, God forbid, Landon Dickerson, we have a much better chance on offensive line. But it's funny, Tom, because, and we're getting ready to go to break, but you just can feel it. I mean, I'm telling you, there's just no way out from under the wet blanket that today feels like for a lot of Florida State fans. Our inbox is littered with people that are bitterly disappointed. I'm sure the sites that cover Florida State recruiting are filled with message boards posts about how difficult and frustrated they find this day to be. And it's hard to argue that there is some huge uptick in momentum for Florida State football right now. You got better today. That's true. But we're so accustomed to just elite class after elite class. But it should be at least noted that even in the midst of the last few years of recruiting, and I'm talking about, and Willie did a very good job last year coming in here and salvaging a group of kids that hadn't been, in many cases, spoken to in over a month. All that's true. But even if you go back to Jimbo's previous class and the one before that and all that, look, I mean, for all of the stars next to the names and the class rankings and the things that we took solace in, what was he not doing? Well, he wasn't recruiting offensive linemen. I mean, we weren't getting a position of need, and the ones we were getting turned out to be, by and large, busts. They weren't developed. They didn't get better. Many couldn't stay healthy. We've had problem after problem after problem, even in the midst of signing big-time classes. So you have to hope that, okay, this may not be the one that rings the bell in terms of an overall ranking of class, but did you fill the most glaring needs you have with quality players, some of which can step in right now and play and help save the day and get this thing turned around at the line of scrimmage? Because that's going to make all the difference in the world. It's Jeff Gabriel Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'm Doug Brown. Roy Williams has been to the Final Four as a head coach 9 times. That's 4th on the all-time list. He'll have a good chance to move up that list now. The 68-year-old Williams gets an 8-year contract extension. His deal with the Tar Heels now runs until 2028. College hoops tonight, a battle of 9-1 teams on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern. 7th-ranked Auburn plays at NC State. From the NFL, Panthers quarterback Cam Newton expected to be shut down for the rest of the season with a right shoulder injury. The team has lost 6 games in a row and is on the brink of elimination from the playoff race. To college football, where Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa expects to be fully ready for the college football playoff semifinal at the Orange Bowl a week from Saturday. Tagovailoa is coming back from surgery for a high ankle sprain.
I think I should be able to be 100% hopefully by next week, Monday. You know, I feel like we've been progressing really well every day as the day's been going by, as we've been practicing. And then we have a 3-day break or 4-day break, you know, and I think taking time off is going to help as well, just rehabbing every day. And then when it comes time to full go with practice on Monday to prepare for the game, we should be fine.
His surgery was 2.5 weeks ago. Miami Heat guard Goran Dragic will be out for 2 months after arthroscopic surgery on his right knee today. The team is hoping to get him back after the All-Star break. Right-hander Matt Harvey signs a 1-year deal with the Angels. The deal is worth $11 million for Harvey, who is now 29. The governing bodies of pro tennis are promising to implement recommendations to fight back against corruption in the sport. That pledge comes after reports of more than a dozen players involved in match fixing.
It's that time of year again where you get to shop for the naughty and the nice. Make it easy. Super Lube it with a Super Change card. Visit any of our 19 area Super Lube locations, buy 3 oil changes and get 1 free. And for a limited time, you'll also receive a free fuel system cleaner. Super Lube. It's quick and convenient, and you never need an appointment. Hurry in and get your Super Change card plus a free fuel system cleaner today.
How I love to Super Lube my car, lube my car. How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Rich Eisen here for Honda. The 2019 Pilot and Ridgeline are here to make your holidays a little brighter and easier. Their available intelligent traction management system can help you be ready for when the winter weather bears down. And innovative access features like the versatile dual-action tailgate on the Ridgeline and the 60/40 split third-row seats in the Pilot even help relieve some of the stress of the season. They're available with Honda Sensing, a suite of safety and driver-assistive features. So hurry into your local Honda dealer during the Happy Honda Day sales event going on now.
This is Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. If hail or debris from the recent storm did damage to your vehicle, contact Seminole Glass today at 850-539-4527. We'll take care of everything for you with mobile service and a lifetime warranty. We're in network with your insurance, and it's your choice. So choose the local company you know and trust. Seminole Auto Glass, 850-539-4527 or at SeminoleAutoglass.com, because no one takes care of your car like Seminole Auto Glass.
It's time for the Jerry's Cigar Shop annual Christmas party on Wednesday, December 19th from 5 to 9 p.m. on Cary Forest Parkway. There'll be plenty of great cigars, free food, holiday sweets, and Christmas cheer. If you have not been to the all-new Jerry's Cigars, this is the perfect time to see why Jerry's is Tallahassee's favorite cigar shop for the last 25 years. So don't miss the Jerry's Cigar Shop Christmas party on Wednesday, December 19th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the brand new location on Cary Forest Parkway. Merry Christmas from Jerry's Cigars.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test.
For a limited time, receive up to a $400 trade-in bonus when you upgrade to a select Carrier home comfort system. Plus, you can now quickly and easily schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device at baranoac.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. It's that easy. Florida license CAC 057652.
Rich Eisen here for Honda. The 2019 Pilot and Ridgeline are here to make your holidays a little brighter and easier. Their available intelligent traction management system can help you be ready for when the winter weather bears down. And innovative access features like the versatile dual-action tailgate on the Ridgeline and the 60/40 split third-row seats in the Pilot even help relieve some of the stress of the season. They're available with Honda Sensing, a suite of safety and driver-assistive features. So hurry into your local Honda dealer during the Happy Honda Day sales event going on now.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Nine and 1, ranked number 11 in all the land against North Florida, another substandard opponent that's going to take an ass kicking at the TLC Double C. They'll do so beginning at 7 o'clock. UNF, come on down. Your record will move to 0-4 all time against Florida State. That's how that's going to go, UNF. And you know it's true. Previous meetings have been lopsided in favor of Florida State to the tune of 75-55. 75-67 and 93-77. By the way, 2012 Noles held off the Ospreys because of Michael Snare's 21 points. And my man Okara White with 15. Remember Okara White's sign we had in here?
We had the oversimplified Okara White equation, which is participation equals success.
Yes.
Stop taking dumb fouls.
That was him on the regular. UNF was bad last year. They're not good this year. They went 14-19 a season ago. They're currently with a losing record. Grand opening, grand closing, UNF. There you go. That's them. That's what that's. Come on down.
We play the Orange Bowl Classic in a few days from now. We play the Billikens from St. Louis, right?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that as well. Unfortunately, tonight's game falls on a night in which I'm hosting I love hosting Beyond the Tips on Sirius XM, and me and Coach Jones do that, but it causes me to miss tonight's basketball game time. You're going to have to break it down for me, buddy.
Okay. No
well,
problem.
I mean, I'll catch it. I mean, I'll be able to go onto the computer.
I'll just map it out possession by possession.
Please do.
Do we play man, zone, defense in the half court, all that stuff?
I want an extensive write-up, field report, if you will, on exactly how things played out the way that we did, en route to a 26-point victory.
That'll be $3,200.
Sure. Let's get on it. $3,200. What a bargain to break down the Ospreys.
Come on, man. You got a QX80. You got that kind of coin.
Not anymore because it's going to the QX80, but that's all right. It's a luxury automobile, and I feel it.
Well, that's for the elites. You know, Tallahassee is still a Kraft Nissan town, but then the elites drive the Infinities, right?
I like these arguments. These are good arguments. My man, Chris Kraft, likes them too. So, again, I do love to watch Florida State basketball. I am somewhat saddened despite the overmatched opponent tonight coming in because I wanted to continue to watch the development of players that are going to be key to the success of Florida State. That includes Phil Kofer. We'll see how many minutes he plays tonight. And then again, the emergence of Nichols and Vassell, and this is fun. You're seeing guys now that can really help us. And the team is going to be, in all likelihood, worst case scenario, 11-2, 12-1 going into the ACC season.
What's the GIF? Is it Oprah that points to the watch? Is that who it is?
I don't know. I just know she's the one that's used the most is the
you get a car, and then the bees one. You ever seen the bees one? Which is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
But that's Mr. Savoy. Got to start making some threes any day now because Nichols is and Vassell is. So, you probably need to start with conference season on the horizon here, turning it around because we really could use you, but it looks like some other guys want those minutes. So that's the great part of having the depth that we do.
Competition, baby. And I really do trust that we're going to get a better performance out of him, PJ Savoy, that is. I understand the concern. It has been mine as well, but
apparently it's Judge Judy who does the watch thing. I was way off. But that's daytime television.
I don't even know if I've seen that one.
You'd know it if you saw it. Everybody does. They use that and the Judge Smales while we're waiting.
Are you going to watch San Diego State in Ohio while also taking in from the ESPN Corner Pocket Executive Suite the basketball game? Will you also tune into a little bowl football? I did last night. I was watching football last night.
We had that bowl right here on these very airwaves. And I
97.9 ESPN Radio carrying the big San Diego State Ohio matchup in the at Toyota Stadium there.
Well, we did last night. I don't think we have tonight's, but we do have two televisions, two HD TVs in the Vista, man. So why not? I'm not putting both those on the same thing.
I didn't get a chance to brag on my boys from Utah State, because they played at a time where we weren't right on the air, right afterwards. But I love you, Utah State. You are the gift that keeps on giving. You saw the beating they gave the Mean Green. 52-13, come get you some, and it's another cover. They are covering machines at Utah State, I'll tell you.
Even with a coaching situation that's in flux, they don't give a damn.
They'll beat your ass.
Well, it was interesting, too. There were a couple articles on North Texas saying they could be the next UCF that morning. I guess that got shot
until
to hell.
They play Utah State, and Utah State says, we're the next UCF. CR 11-2 record, and another thorough beatdown for you. It's what they do, man. I have to confess to being somewhat surprised. Congratulations to UAB, who gets a win last night. I thought Northern Illinois, having played a schedule that would have readied them for a football game like this against UAB, would have been enough because they played good defense against teams with Power 5 skill. And yet, UAB laid it on them. That if you had the first half under, Tom, if you were out there, for example, you lost that bet, Tom. If you had the first half under, as somebody might have, it cost you dearly because Northern Illinois did not show up.
Yeah.
And UAB did something that maybe was a little unexpected, dropping 27 in the first half. Just didn't see it, Tom. Some people didn't see it.
You got a line on this Ohio-San Diego State game? Got any feelings?
No, don't have any feelings about tonight's game. I have. I know. Well, I do. Okay, that's not true. I told you going into bowl season that the way you enhance bowl season is you take your hard-earned money and you bet it on every single game during bowl season. And I put my money where my mouth is. I did bet it. But in one of those, this wasn't one of those, I'm going to lay extra on tonight's matchup, anything above and beyond the many pools that I'm in.
Yeah, I'm not in a confidence pool this year, and it just, oddly enough, it's taken away my confidence in life. Yeah,
It eats
I don't
at you
like
a little
it.
bit.
No, I should be. This is craziness.
Yes. What are you doing? You lost your way briefly. What happened?
Well, no,
how are you not in
the
a
one that
confidence
we've
pool?
been in for 3-4 years didn't. I mean, listen, things happen, so I'm not mad at the commissioner.
Oh, you can tell him. He's listening. Get it together, Commissioner.
She's listening. Yeah.
Okay, what happened?
I don't know. Got too busy, I guess.
Well,
too busy for fun.
That's not how
It's
we
ridiculous.
win. That's not how we live our lives, Tom.
Very Scrooge-like,
It's not what we do. We wager these games. It's what it's all about. The bowl season is about betting and nothing else. That's what it's about. Until you get to the playoffs, until you get to the games that matter, all these other games are just about gambling angles. They're just glorified exhibitions by which you bet.
So it was a close game. In the adjacent suite to us at the Vista of the
Not quite
ESPN
as nice as our
Tallahassee,
suite,
the
yes.
Corner Pocket Executive Suite, there was a bet on the second half of Florida State whether they would cover the whole number. I think it was 24.5 or 25. And they got damn near close to doing it. I mean, the lead was up right around that stratosphere.
Were they yelling at each other?
They were. I think it was mostly friendly. There wasn't any big money going because it's such a ridiculous bet, but they decided to do it for the fun of it. And so you could hear their chatter going back and forth because that thing got to 16 with like 8 minutes to go, and the one guy who was sitting pretty said, "Ooh,
I'm getting a
little nervous here.
I didn't expect this to get
Push
here.
it to 22, 24 with 3 minutes to go.
What
You're
do
going,
we got going on here, right?
So now you're counting on Florida State to lengthen the possessions just to get out of Dodge, and then Leonard went to the walk-ons, and it was over.
Number one class in the country is going to be Alabama. There was never a question about it. Georgia's right behind them, and Jimbo Fisher can still recruit. Now, he'll lose a game or two a year to somebody who has no right to beat him, but he doesn't lose too many off seasons when it comes to recruiting. Texas A&M sitting pretty at number 3. Those fans are pleased. LSU, Clemson rounding out that top 5, depending on where you look. I'm looking a lot of different places. We'll give you the different rankings, but that's a rivals look right there.
Well, the interesting thing, too, is he was able to hold down all of the kids that, had locked in on Texas A&M, as Jimbo did here for the most part. When he cared to recruit, we saw the results. And
he can recruit, yeah.
But with Tim Brewster leaving, he left after the season was over. He went to North Carolina, which was the school that poached Sam Howell today. But just, if you're losing one of your ace recruiters, you're wondering, will there be a casualty or two? It doesn't appear so.
I like how you snuck that in there. You may have been inferring something or not, but it was well done. Brewster goes to Carolina. A recruit gets poached. The timing is amazing.
I don't know that it's Mac Brown's presence in a living room.
No, don't think so. The surprise would be, I think, to me, as I look at this list of teams, I would go, that's fascinating. Look at Arkansas in the top 15. What a banner year they had at Arkansas, huh?
You know who's getting blitzed right now?
That professor's
the
like,
professor's
yes,
like, yeah,
we're
see what
back,
happens
baby. When we tell fatty, fat, that loser to hit it, I've had enough.
All he's doing is he's saying, F you, Bielema. That's all he's saying today. That's all he can say, and he's slurring it.
It's what he got ushered out of the stadium for saying when Bielema was there. He said it to his face, and the cops had to come and get the professor out of the stadium.
I think he was spotted around the athletic department asking some holdover employees if they still had his number so he could give him a call.
I still love the idea of a tenured professor at an Arkansas football game screaming down fatty, fat Brett Bielema. That he had just reached his wits' end. He was done with it. He got liquored up in the midst of another Arkansas loss, and that was it. And they're like, Professor Wilson, you have been on staff for 26 years here at Arkansas. Don't throw it all away just to yell at Brett Bielema. No, I can't do it. Standing up, screaming him down.
And having sat in a tenured professor's seats behind Florida State's bench once, it is in a place where everyone will hear it that's standing on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
Or on the sideline.
Yeah.
So the message was received. I guarantee that.
Hence the reason Bielema turned to security and told him, get this guy out of here. And it was only later that they found out it was a damn tenured professor.
When you hear that loud and clear to where it's uncomfortable, you know, the vacuum feel in the crowd when somebody says something
like,
a little too much.
Hey, That's not what we do.
It extends to the sideline where the players go,
whoa. Hey, did you see the Marcus Peters thing?
No.
Okay, well.
He's still with us?
Yeah, the defensive back for the Rams.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of a different.
No, Marcus Peters confronted a fan during a game when the Rams were playing the other night, and it was awesome. First of all, that stadium they're in is that ancient-ass stadium that you can literally just walk into the stands directly from the field. That's the way they used to make stadiums.
Yes.
Because people in their trench coats and smoking their pipes and with their hats weren't coming down onto the field.
I mean, they got the torch from the old Athens Olympics. Yeah.
So Peters is on the bench, and this dude is screaming him down, and apparently had been doing it for much of the game. And Peters just turns around. It's that uncomfortable moment. It's glorious. He turns around and looks at the guy and then just goes, okay, and stands up and walks into the stands. And you're like, oh, here we go. And it's beautiful because that fan backs down very quickly, and I can't repeat what Marcus Peters says to him when the fan backs down, but we'll listen to it here in a moment together.
I thought you were talking about Xavier Peters, the Florida State prospect. I was like, come on, don't tell me that he's not with the program or something anymore, please.
No, just you and I, let's go listen to this. This is
no misinformation there. Xavier Peters is fine, people, if you just turned it on.
I'm talking about Marcus Peters. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the all-new Kraft Infinity, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Kraft Infinity purchased all inventory at a discounted price. We want to pass those savings on to you. Kraft Infinity has 85 new vehicles in stock, both 2018s and 2019s, and all will be sold at invoice pricing, plus up to $3,000 winter bonus cash on most models. So come look at Kraft Infinity before you buy, and dare to compare us to Mercedes, BMW, Acura, Cadillac, and Lexus. You will not buy or lease a luxury vehicle for less. And Infinity's quality and value is second to none. Drive a 2018 QX80 for $695 a month, or a 2019 QX60 for $395 a month, with only $2,500 in cash or trade equity due at delivery. Plus, all trade-ins are $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book. Kraft Infinity, beyond your expectations, and brought to you by the Kraft Brothers, 3355 Capitol Circle Northeast, next to Ted's Montana Grill. Lease payments are plus tax for 39 months with 10,000 miles per year through Infinity Financial Service with approved credit.
Did you know carbon monoxide is odorless and invisible? Help ensure your family is protected from the dangers of carbon monoxide. CO alarms should be installed on every level and in every bedroom. And remember, alarms don't last forever, and it's important to replace them every 5 to 10 years. First Alert has been protecting homes and families since 1958 and encourages you to learn more about whole home safety at firstalert.com and visit Lowe's Home Improvement stores to purchase carbon monoxide alarms today.
Hey everybody, it's Brendan from Panic at the Disco. While on tour, I've been spreading some good in the neighborhood with my friends at State Farm. State Farm's Neighborhood of Good makes it easy to give back to your neighborhood. It feels so good to give back, especially when it's something you're passionate about. If you just dedicate the smallest amount of your time, the amount of impact you can have, it's unreal. State Farm is making it easy to give back. Go to neighborhoodofgood.com. Just put in your zip code, find a cause, and show up.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for our all-new Ultimate Cheesy Garlic Bread. How would you like it?
I'll take a skeptical grandma.
Set in her ways?
A smidge.
Grandma, try this Ultimate Meatball Marinara made with ultimate cheesy garlic bread, melted mozzarella, Parmesan, garlic butter spread. It's just like yours.
Like mine? My grandmother's recipe?
Try it.
You know, my grandmother's cheesy garlic bread was never all that.
Subway, make it what you want. Limited time only at participating restaurants.
Escúchame, it is Dan Levatación on ESPN Radio.
I love that television has so many of these conceits. The reporter who's walking to the camera while staring at the floor before looking up, that's something that he's doing rehearsed. He's not thinking. When people are walking across a landscape with the famous person they're interviewing, those people are not friends, and they were not having a leisurely walk. That was something they did for the cameras. And so,
wait, when Boog is walking from third to home, they're not friends?
All of it is a contrivance. Boog can have friends, but the doing of television in the broadcastery way is a contrivance.
90 feet. I mean, you walk 90 feet with someone and have a conversation, I feel like you're friend.
All right, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Fine. If you walk 90 feet with someone and have a conversation, are you friends? That is about how you would do the math on that. I could walk 900 years with someone and not be their friend. I've done it for 15 here.
Hey, thanks, Dan.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Roy Williams has been to the Final Four as a head coach 9 times. That's 4th on the all-time list. He'll have a good chance to move up that list now. The 68-year-old Williams gets an 8-year contract extension. His deal with the Tar Heels now runs until 2028. College hoops tonight, a battle of 9-1 teams on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern. 7th-ranked Auburn plays at NC State. From the NFL, Panthers quarterback Cam Newton expected to be shut down for the rest of the season with a right shoulder injury. The team has lost 6 games in a row and is on the brink of elimination from the playoff race. To college football, where Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa expects to be fully ready for the college football playoff semifinal at the Orange Bowl a week from Saturday. Tagovailoa is coming back from surgery for a high ankle sprain.
I think I should be able to be 100% hopefully by next week, Monday. You know, I feel like we've been progressing really well every day as the day's been going by, as we've been practicing. And then we have a 3-day break or 4-day break, you know, and I think taking time off is going to help as well, just rehabbing every day. And then when it comes time to full go with practice on Monday to prepare for the game, we should be fine.
His surgery was 2.5 weeks ago. Miami Heat guard Goran Dragic will be out for 2 months after arthroscopic surgery on his right knee today. The team is hoping to get him back after the All-Star break. Right-hander Matt Harvey signs a 1-year deal with the Angels. The deal is worth $11 million for Harvey, who is now 29. The governing bodies of pro tennis are promising to implement recommendations to fight back against corruption in the sport. That pledge comes after reports of more than a dozen players involved in match fixing.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good to have you along. Early signing period. Still time to get players, by the way, Tom, as we talk about this. Still plenty of time. I should say that most people feel like they get the crooks of their class today. That's been the development with the early signing period being new and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like the actual signing day. The traditional signing day is like a secondary market, but there are kids who like the drama, and there are kids who just want more time as well to see what the market looks like.
Yeah, so you could still see a couple of big names around the country hold off, and maybe they choose Florida State. At this point, I think you would say that this class, by and large, is okay. You're not gonna go nuts over a class like this. Again, relative to what Florida State fans are accustomed to in recruiting. Look, at the end of the day, if you're a program that recruits to the level of top 20, top 15 on the regular, you're going to win a lot of football games. You're going to have an opportunity, I should say, to win a lot of football games. Where we get down to the nitty-gritty and the brass tacks is, can you win a national championship if you're routinely finishing outside the top 10? Well, you can, but it's really difficult, and it doesn't happen all that often. There's a reason that the Alabamas of the world and Clemsons and Georgias of the world, who routinely find themselves up there amongst the elite, win championships and are in position to continually win championships, Ohio State amongst them. And we have been a program that over the years found ourselves in that rather rich landscape. And currently, we're not. And so I think fans of the school, Florida State diehards, are disappointed today because this is not a top 10 class. Is it a class that meets some needs? The answer is yes. Are there some good football players in this class? Absolutely. But did you get the quarterback you wanted? No. Does it look like you're going to miss out on a couple of guys that could have really helped? It does. Willie Taggart is at the dais talking about this class. We'll bring it to you now. Hopefully that audio will allow for us to stay with it. If it doesn't, we'll jump in. Here's Willie Taggart.
Really good class that we have already. Excited about the guys we have coming in, and can't wait till they get here.
Yeah. Coach, I know you kind of mentioned this is the first day, but for players who maybe have already determined that they're not going to sign early, how does the coaching staff perceive them? Is it any negative view at all? I know some kind of, usually fans, if guys don't sign early, they kind of get worked up about it. Just how does the staff perceive them?
Perceive them like everything else. I mean, it's a tough decision for these young people, and a lifetime decision for them, and they got to make the best decision for themselves and make sure they're comfortable with the decision that they're going to make. And so the guys not going to sign here during the early signing period, and you can't get mad at them. You got to respect the decision and keep working, keep recruiting, and making sure you give him all the information you need about your school to make sure that that's a place that he wants to be and a place that we want them to be as well. So I don't think you get upset or anything like that. You just got to keep working, and again, at some point they're going to make a decision, and you keep working, and keep the relationship like it's supposed to be, and hopefully that decision will be with you.
Chris? Do you have an expectation of how many more guys between now and Friday, and also exiting this period? What's the biggest needs that you guys have remaining?
No, you never have expectations when it comes to recruiting. Anything happens in these next couple of days and this next month leading up to February. We're going to sign the guys that we know we're going to sign, and there's some guys that will sign with us in February. And but I think after going through this signing period, we as a staff can regroup and make sure that we get off the recruiting class the right way and in the right position that we need to.
Willie, no quarterback recruits signed so far, but you do have 2 months. And I know you can't talk about individual players and prospects, but are there kids you're looking at? Because, Florida State fans are a little bit worried that the kid committed to North Carolina. Did you guys see that coming, number one? And do you have, I don't want to call them backup plans, but do you have other irons in the fire at that position?
Yes, Florida State will be fine. We'll get a QB in here we all like, all excited about. And we'll get someone in here that's going to help us win ball games.
Here, Coach.
What were, when you came into this recruiting cycle, what were the biggest needs that you identified for this program, and how do you think you've done filling them so far?
Well, I think we all know offensive line-wise, we needed to fill some holes there, and I thought we did a good job so far. And again, we're not finished from that standpoint. I thought linebacker was another area to where we needed to add on to our depth. And we signed 3 guys today, and could improve on that as well. But I knew going in we wasn't going to have a big offensive signing. Dave, our guys would be more defensive guys going in, but feel good about our needs and what we were able to fill. And again, the beauty of this time compared to last year, guys going into January, it's only a few guys you have to get, and you can really focus on the 2020 class. Something we wasn't able to get a jump on last year because we were still filling out our class for the 2018 season. So that'll give us a jump start going into this next class.
So Willie Taggart there. The audio's not great. We're going to try to continue to get that audio recorded in, and then we can clean it up and make it a little bit more easy to hear for you guys. So when that time comes, we'll play it back. What I can do, though, is tell you who signed. I mean, that's that much we do know. And for Florida State, to me, I think this is going to be an awful lot about the talking points will be an awful lot about who they didn't get. For example, Howell. You didn't get your quarterback. People are going to talk about that. If Akeem Dent doesn't sign with Florida State, the 5-star defensive back out in California, who for a long time they thought they were going to get, right? That's him, right?
Akeem Dent, yes.
But did I get the state right? Or was I thinking about Thibodeau? I'm thinking about
Thibodeau is out in Cali.
That's what I said, California. I meant to say, so Thibodeau. But anyhow, if you don't get you didn't get Thibodeau, he went to Oregon. You didn't get Howell, he goes to North Carolina. You don't know if you're going to get Akeem Dent. There you go. Clean that up. So these are guys that were high-profile guys. These were guys that the fan base was eager to see sign with Florida State because they were known. They were 5 stars. In the case of Dent and Thibodeau, you had a 4-star quarterback that could presumably run your system in Howell, and none of those guys have signed with Florida State. Still a chance that Dent could. There's no way that you're going to find folks celebrating this class because they didn't get those guys. And not going to lie, it's disappointing when you don't get those guys. But my overriding concern, and we'll see how this all plays out, do you get Dante Lucas, the 4-star offensive lineman, IMG? Yes.
Signing ceremony right now, yeah.
Going on right now. Okay, so you get him. Do you get offensive line help at all beyond that? Well, you got Jay Williams, the JUCO offensive tackle, coming in from California. You got a guard out of Miami Central in Maurice Smith. That's another offensive lineman, obviously. You're supposed to get Will Putnam tomorrow. That looks pretty well like that's going to be cemented tomorrow. You're in good shape there. He's a 4-star offensive lineman. These were absolutely critical gets. And if you're able to, we'll see about a grad transfer or another JUCO. We don't know. But if you're able to do that, you can start the process of flipping this offensive line. It's paramount. It's the cornerstone of any success you're going to have offensively, regardless of who the offensive coordinator is and who the quarterback is. It doesn't take away the sting of not getting Howell. It doesn't take away the concern that Florida State fans have currently. But, again, we don't know exactly who's out there in the mix. We know who's in the portal, though. That we do know. The transfer portal is, hey, portal. We celebrated the portal last week on the show. Now we're looking into the portal. And hopefully we find ourselves a starting quarterback within that portal.
Well, people would tack that on to the signing class, and they'd say, all right, so if you get a class that addresses needs, plus you bring in a multi-year solution, potentially, if you were to get the big fish.
If you were to get Justin Fields, we're all tap dancing today. This is a celebratory moment if that were to happen. But, again, that's wild speculation. I don't think Fields is coming here. My personal opinion would be that he probably signs either at Oklahoma or Ohio State, would be a guess. I have no way of knowing that. I just look at those situations, and I think that they would probably be attractive to a kid like that. Not saying we wouldn't necessarily be, but if you're going to be completely objective, you're watching Florida State come off a 5-7 season in which they couldn't block it up. They appear to be in flux. Ohio State obviously has developed quarterbacks, had a great season, although disappointing on defense. They're producing talent at the position. In Oklahoma, all they do is produce Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks.
Well, I think the situation with him would be tied to, is he immediately eligible to play football? Because then that changes things for, say, Oklahoma, who signed a 5-star quarterback today.
Yeah.
That changes the discussion. If you can play now, then that kid can go shirt and you can go do what you need to do. But if you got to sit out a season, why would you put yourself in the same circumstance you were in at Georgia?
Yeah,
you may as well come here and be the man in waiting.
Yeah, and, I think people, you think you got the kid from Ball State who could be coming in. There's a lot of kids out there that Florida State would have their eye on to take kids going back to Arizona, so he's out of the mix.
Miami announced that they're losing a kid, a quarterback 4-star. Williams kid is transferring away from the U. I don't know if there's an ACC rule in there, but the market is going to fill back up, and you're going to be hearing names that aren't talked about today for National Signing Day in general. This is not the period. This is not the end of the sentence. There's more to come. But you'd also be crazy to try and suggest that in some way deflects completely everything that happened today that was negative. There's a lot negative that happened today.
Yeah, a lot negative that happened today, which I think can be easily predicted on the heels of a 5-7 season. Nobody wants to hear that. But I do understand, and I continue to bring this up. Look, today's a day where we spend a little extra time on recruiting, obviously, with the early signing period being what it is. And on National Signing Day, we do it again. I don't pretend for a second to have the same sort of insight that the websites who cover recruiting exclusively and extensively do. I do my due diligence by calling the people who work for those websites and see these kids on the regular at 7-on-7s and so forth and ask their opinion. And I kind of put together an outline, if you will, to talk about these kids and generalize about, what we've heard regarding their abilities and their recruitment. And so on the one hand, I can tell you that I think Florida State filled needs today. I think Florida State, according to the people who, again, I've talked to, signed some really good players. Yeah, I think that's true. I for example, would tell you that I think True Thompson's going to be a really good football player for us. I've loved him for a long time. I think Deloach is going to be a really good football player for us. And you talk to people who have seen him play out of Georgia, they say that's a real good get at a position in need for Florida State, the linebacker. So, there are guys there, linemen. If we get Will Putnam tomorrow, that's a big deal to me. It's already a big deal that we got Dante Lucas. He's a game changer and attitude adjuster.
I think the number one thing you can say positively about this class, no matter who you missed on, is it is comprised of kids who don't like to lose and who have chips on their shoulder.
Better.
But we sorely need that.
Desperately got to flip it, got to change the mindset. You got to be tough, and it's not good enough to just be tough enough in terms of your physical tools. You got to be there mentally, and if you're flipping a culture in a locker room, you got to have guys that hold everybody accountable. That's not something that you can necessarily know when you look at the stars next to a guy's name. I'm, again, not telling you the stars don't matter. They do matter. Would I much rather have just a series of 5-star commits saying yes to Florida State? Absolutely, I would. But I also know that we're lacking in a lot of ways, and it's not just bodies on the football field that can play. It's upstairs. It's between the ears as well. And we were lacking toughness. So it's good that you hear they went out and tried to find guys that are going to help bring about a change in the way the game's played, the way the locker room interacts, and certainly toughness, overriding toughness is involved. So that's good news. It's not a profound disappointment today. It's also not a banner day. It's not a day, and again, if you're Wake Forest and you sign a top 25 class, you're screaming naked down the street in celebration and shocked that you guys must be finally on board with cheating. But if you're Florida State, where you are accustomed to signing top 5, top 10 classes for sure, it's hard to get too giddy about a class that's just inside the top 20.
I'd look at it this way, too. If you're going to chastise Florida State fans for not feeling all sunshine and rainbows about today, what do you think Willie's expectations were for this class and the recruiting rankings of this class when it was done in February? I mean, you could do some work to fortify this thing and climb a few spots, but I'm sure he thought he would have a top 10 class easily. And right now, that looks like, I don't want to say a pipe dream, but it looks like a long way off.
I think the thing, Tom, we continue to come back to is this idea of a series of disappointments. The season itself was obviously terribly disappointing. It didn't meet expectations. That's what happens with disappointment, right? There are expectations that aren't met. That's how you arrive at that place. So the season was that way. Now you have a recruiting class that doesn't meet expectations. Not saying there aren't good players here. Not saying these won't be the guys to help turn it all around. Just saying it doesn't meet expectations. So you go from a disappointing season to now an important time for college football diehards everywhere. Recruiting, certainly the lifeblood of all programs. Somewhat disappointment. There's just no getting around that. It's okay to admit that. It's also a reason to raise an eyebrow and continue to have concerns about the direction of the program. I don't look at this just as I didn't look at season 1 as a referendum on where we're going. I do, however, look at it as a reason for concern. I think this is a no-brainer and an obvious statement. Next year has to show that we are taking a big step forward in the way of organization, people understanding their roles, level of play. All that stuff has to show a positive sign forward, which then would parlay into a top 10 class without question. If you don't have that, Tom, what remains of the people on board here will jump ship with Willie Taggart. They just will. There's already enough of them who did after year 1, and there are plenty of others who are saying that's crazy. I'm on board, but I'm getting concerned, and I think we kind of fall in that camp.
Yeah, I think that's the simplest way of putting it. We covered the games and the season almost like in a vacuum versus what the whole direction of the program is, because you've got this group of guys, they weren't yours. How much can you get out of them in terms of winning somewhere between 7 to 10 games? That was the range of expectations from the most pessimistic in the media to the most optimistic in the media. And I was on the optimistic side of it, thinking that if the offensive line stayed healthy, you could have flirted with 10 this year. But you get 5. You get half of that. You get blown out a bunch. When you play anywhere,
you play anybody who's any good, you get blown out.
Anywhere close to decent, too. You know what I mean? Like, that was the hard part.
The exception being Boston College.
Right. And so that's tough to take. But you understand that this was a bit of a mess, and times might get darker before they get lighter. But here you go. I mean, you got to bring in these have to be hits. Some of these guys that are borderline 3-4 stars, they got to be hits at the very least in culture. And then the offensive linemen that are 3 stars. They got to be somebody that in a year or two can give you an honest start. If somebody's hurt in front of them on the depth chart, that you're not looking at an offensive line situation that you've looked at this past season. You can't be this lost again.
Should be mentioned, and I didn't mention this earlier, and we'll put an initial ribbon here at the beginning of the 4 o'clock hour on this class, and we'll try to get audio from Willie Taggart. You have some verbal commits that are not expected to sign until February. And there are some real good players in that group. So, you look at a Travis Jay, who's a cornerback out of Madison, Florida. He's a kid. You got the Lakeland Kathleen kid, Brendan Grant, who's a safety, 4-star kid. Another kid in Nick Cross, who's another 4-star safety. You mentioned Akeem Dent. Now, we'll see if he ends up going to Alabama or what he ends up doing. But Quashawn Fuller, at a Lehigh Acres, Florida, another kid. So you have some guys still out there that aren't signing until February, and you may very well get them, and that will help obviously raise the level, ranking level of your class as well.
It will. Everybody else will be having a little influx as well. The question is, what are the new names that emerge or ones that we were on the fence about that are going to take visits in January? And then we go back to the other way.
And is there a grad transfer at quarterback?
Yeah.
Or do you somehow find a way to win the heart and mind of Mr. Fields?
Well, and this is the thing. So college football has changed, and this is probably for another segment, but, I mean, think about it. The early signing period is this brand new phenomenon, and it's now in its second year. Willie had to navigate the first year with a brand new job and no staff. That's tough. It doesn't excuse what happens this year at all. But also consider that the transfer market has been completely revolutionized in the past 12 months as well. So you've got early signing period, National Signing Day, and a new transfer market where it's easier to go from school to school. That's a lot, man. The way you shape rosters and build rosters, it's like free agency now.
Yeah, we're still adjusting an awful lot to this, too, as fans and people who watch their school and with great interest. How do we evaluate, and when do we finally put the stamp on that? When do we go, yep, nope, this was a failure. Oh, hey, all right, got it right. That was nice. I didn't expect that guy to come over here.
I think it's fair to say if we're sitting here at the early signing period again this time next year and we feel disappointed about the season and disappointed about that first day, then
he's in trouble.
Big trouble.
That'd be that.
Life support.
That'd be like your last. Yeah, no, he'd be going into his last year. Go to MyPillow.com and click on the Christmas special, my friends. Enter the promo code while you're at it. It's 979-ESPN. What you'll get when you do that is 2 premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. You got to get a good night's sleep. We all know that. Get yourself some restorative sleep and feel better each morning you wake up. You'll do that. I like MyPillow. I sleep on it every night. MyPillow.com. Click on the Christmas special. Use my code. It's 979-ESPN. You get 2 premium pillows, as I said, 2 Go Anywhere pillows. It's their best price ever. A 4-pack, free shipping, extended money-back guarantee through March. Perfect. Go to MyPillow.com. Click on the Christmas special. Enter that promo code I told you about. It's 979-ESPN. And get on it. And remember, you can use some of those pillows as a gift for your loved ones. Good time to do it. MyPillow.com. Promo code 979-ESPN.
Get ready for May 3rd, 4th, and 5th at Metropolitan Park in Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome to Rockville 2019. Tool, Korn, Rob Zombie, Judas Priest, Shinedown, Prodigy, Incubus. Mantra. With Bring Me the Horizon, Papa Roach, Evanescence, Chevelle, The Cult, The Struts. In this moment, 3 days, May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Go to WelcomeToRockvilleFestival.com for all ticket and lineup info. Tool, Judas Priest, Rob Zombie, Incubus, Korn, Shinedown, and so many more. Florida's #1 rock festival. Welcome to Rockville. This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, this is it, the end of the year, and Nissan has pulled out all the stops with not just huge rebates and 0% on most 2019 models, but the addition of holiday bonus cash now through January 2nd. You've heard me say how aggressively we are discounting the 2019s, but listen to this. Kraft Nissan will sell our 100 remaining 2018s at unheard of below invoice prices. Told my managers to take all reasonable offers and move out all 2018s by the close of business January 2nd. Not only that, but next month your trade will be a year older. So if you've been thinking of trading, your trade will never be worth more than right now, up to $2,000 more. So whether you're bargain hunting for a 2018 or looking for the latest 2019 model, you need to put Kraft Nissan on your holiday shopping list. This is not an end of the month sale. This is the year-end super sale. So hurry to Kraft Nissan because time is running out on 2018 and savings like these only come along once a year. Happy holidays from our family to yours. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Edwin Watts Golf presents a special holiday offer from Titleist. The Pro V1 and Pro V1X are the #1 ball in golf used by tour players and amateurs around the world. And right now, they're only $39.99 a dozen, making them the #1 gift in golf. And now available, the new TS Metal Woods. 2 distinct designs that bring more speed to your game. TS2 lets you swing aggressive with maximum forgiveness across the face, while TS3 offers an adjustable sweet spot for speed-tuned performance. This holiday season, shop Edwin Watts Golf, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
At Township and College Town, for the table, by the people is not just lip service, it's their mantra. Tallahassee's largest beer hall offers drafts served in steins and a unique twist on upscale pub fare. Just walk up and order for the table and grab a seat by the people. Some you may not even know. If you're looking for a more intimate gathering, Township offers The Garden, a unique setting to Tallahassee complete with outdoor fireplace and a retractable awning. Oh, and let's not forget the 32 taps and private bar. Book it for your next party or company event. Township Tallahassee, 619 Woodward Avenue in Collegetown.
Hi, I'm President John Thrasher. I'm here with some of our outstanding marching chiefs. They've been invited to an incredible opportunity, and they need your help. Next June, the marching chiefs will travel to France and represent both the state of Florida and the United States at the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion on the beaches of Normandy. As both an Army veteran and the president of the university dedicated to student veteran success, I know what a meaningful opportunity this is for these talented musicians. But experiences like this can be out of reach for many students. So today, I'm asking for your support so we can send as many of our marching chiefs as possible to this monumental event. Visit give.fsu.edu/Normandy. Thank you, and go Noles!
What's good, Stephen A?
There is an APB. I've called the cops and specifically requested that an APB be put out for Ndamukong Suh. Why is it that Aaron Donald is getting double and triple teamed? And the first time that I saw Ndamukong Suh last night was when he almost got to Nick Foles. Before then, I thought it was a damn APB out for him. I mean, can somebody help out Aaron Donald on that defensive line for the Los Angeles Rams, please? He's only the reigning defensive player of the year, who's about to win the award again. He's only a viable top 3, top 4 league MVP candidate. I mean, can somebody get this man some help? Please? Pretty please with sugar on top? I mean, my God.
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 80 and the ESPN app. You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
And Dante Lucas has signed for Florida State, the 4-star offensive guard down there in Bradenton, IMG. All right, now that is a bit of good news. That's an uptick. All right. That's the kind of news I like to hear.
Willie said he's a war daddy and a people mover, as he got confirmation while he was speaking to the media that it all happened. So he was finally allowed to speak on him. And people mover, I believe, is the term that Willie used.
Well, good. We need people that don't provide an escort to the quarterback. Most of our guys a year ago provided escorts. Don't mind if I do. Please come knock the bejesus out of one DeAndre Francois. He's used to it.
I'm surprised none of our cynical fans or rivals didn't put together something with our offensive lineman and a cape.
They can.
From Pamplona.
Start at right tackle. You've got ample footage from game to game. Have a good time with that one. Woo! Ole.
And play some flamenco music underneath it.
Do it. It's actually funny. We could have any number of our friends do that who work magic on the Twitters. Yeah, man. I mean, this is a really good nugget. Getting Dante Lucas, I don't know about nugget, I guess. We knew he was coming. But now that he's officially here.
Well, it's just nice to know.
Nice to know it's done.
Yeah, it's official.
No more surprises.
Yeah, no.
Everything's all right. We got you, big man. Come on.
Can I peek out the door? Is it okay to look outside? Is it safe?
I really just want that guy along the offensive and defensive line. We have one in Marvin Wilson on the defensive line. I need that guy on the offensive line that is ruthless, that is borderline dirty, that is going to go to war for you.
I also hope that we reward guys who play like that a little bit better this year. I mean, Marvin, all they talked about was he's everything that's right with being a Knoll. And yet, there were some games, the NC State game is an example, where he didn't see the field until very late on their first possession where they go right down the field. I just hope we do a little bit better job of that. And I'm not trying to pile on. It's just I think that's an honest criticism that would jive with the culture you're trying to build. If you give a damn and you can play a little bit, we're going to get your ass on the field instead of worrying about trying to placate bowl streaks. All that's done. Now it should be complete meritocracy if it wasn't before.
Yes, and Marvin is a guy that can help change things for you, not just on a football field with his play, but in that locker room. If he's allowed to lead, which you can only do if you're a regular starter, getting starters minutes, if you will, for lack of a better term, in this case, reps, and allowed to dominate and showcase that. Those are the guys typically players follow. Those are the guys that can lead. And he's a guy that I would think would come into next year as an unquestioned leader. And offensively, you've got to find somebody like that as well. We really haven't had that guy on the offense. Admit it. Cam Akers isn't that guy, or he wasn't last year and couldn't be in year one. He was just a freshman. So maybe he emerges. Doesn't seem like he's that kind of leader. I don't know that Terry is that kind of leader. Trey McKitty's got to be better in order to be that kind of leader. Is there another player? Is there a quarterback? Yes, James Blackman could be that kind of leader. He's already an emotional spark, but he's got to be a starter. So you just haven't had that on the opposite side of the ball. You marry that with the fact they can't block anybody. So these are pretty profound problems. The not blocking part is the bigger problem than the lack of leadership. But if you couple it, it is, it's obvious why you sucked last year. And anybody you played with a pulse beat you significantly. And this just can't happen. And on National Signing Day or the early signing period, you want a reason to be excited. You want a reason for hope. Dante Lucas is that kind of player. Perhaps the Deloach kid is that kind of player. When we see Amari Gaynor play next year a lot and come into this season as a bona fide starter, not off of injury, not in a true freshman role, maybe he can be that kind of a leader. So you've got guys like that. Jaden Woodby. I think there are plenty of examples of that on the defense. Can we find it on the offense? Are any of these guys going to be that on the offense? Or is there somebody that exists on the roster currently that didn't play a prominent role that will next year? Can he be that guy?
I know that most people would respond to this bit of quote-unquote news as, well, of course, why would you have gone and left? Dontavius Jackson did announce that he's returning for his senior season, and that's important for the depth of the linebacker position. And if you're looking for somebody who could be potentially an emotional leader, he played out of control at times. He's not a perfect player, but he brings it by and large.
He cares, yeah.
And he cares. He has a little something to him, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he had the game for the ages against Boston College. He was a big part of how they were able to shut down a really good run game, and I don't think they had anything left in the tank for that final game. It's kind of embarrassing to say that, but they were thin amongst that linebacking core, and they were thin both in numbers and in talent. And so it's good that you get him back because he can play a little bit. You bring in these guys, let's see what you got.
One of Willie's comments about the linebackers during his press conference today said the priority was we need them all to be able to run. They need to be able to move, given the offenses we're going against. And that tells you what they didn't have. It's one of those things that he's trying to give compliments, but you also can read between the lines of what they knew they didn't have on the current roster. They don't have guys that can get from A to B, and they need some sideline-to-sideline people, and maybe Kalen DeLoach will be the bell cow that leads the way in that regard. He said that all of them, all the linebacker signees this year, have a crack at getting some serious playing time night one or day one, whatever time we kick with Boise State.
DeLoach is a kid that you bring up here in this situation, the linebacker out of Georgia, 4-star that signed. I was really excited about that because, again, I was just appalled at our level of play at linebacker last year. Once teams started scheming to the second level, we were done. It really kind of began in the NC State game. Harlan got exposed in that game. They created an extra lane to get to the linebackers through scheme, through formation. We really didn't do a good job of answering that, but once guys got to that second level, you talk about an average running back exposing those linebackers. That's what happened in the NC State game. From that point forward, everybody went, oh, okay, and attempted to do it. Now, the BC game was one in which we bowed up and decided to stop the run and did a good job at it, but really too many instances in which that got absolutely brutalized. Now you hope you got guys that can do something about it. DeLoach is a guy against the spread that a lot of people believe can come in and play right now. That's his MO. He's a hell of an athlete, sideline-to-sideline guy. So that's good against the spread. That helps. And then you've got, again, when we're looking at linebackers and who Florida State signed, DeLoach is the spread guy. And then the other one, the McCray kid, is the kid out of Bradenton who's a bigger linebacker who will hit you and I think isn't afraid of contact. He's more of your classic linebacker.
I think the hope is, too, you can't count on it much the way if you try to count on offensive linemen last year to stay healthy. You just, you're betting against yourself. Emmett Rice, can he get fully healthy? Because apparently the recovery process from his injury that he suffered was substantial, and it may not be over yet. But if you're just looking for depth and people that can thump, if somebody's going to try to run and mount their will against you physically, well, here you go.
Yeah,
Emmett Rice is an answer in that regard.
Kayvon Glenn, who signed today, is another answer there. Inside linebacker out of Georgia. He's another guy that when you talk to people, and that's what I try to do here, because, again, I'm not at those events in which these players are participating, they'll talk about he's a thumper as well. So, okay, if you can't win the day in recruiting, if you can't make a splash with a huge 5-star that everybody wanted, that you somehow wrestled away the services of, if you can't do that, and we didn't, then you better get some needs filled. And it does look like in a couple of key areas here, offensive line, linebacker, we may have.
There's not a lot of turnover on the defensive staff. There's no law against signing multiple high 4s or low 5-stars, and we just weren't able to do that. It tells you about the results, and it tells you about the kids. It's a vote of confidence, man. If a kid chooses you, they're confident that A, you're going to be there by the time they graduate, and B, that you know what the hell you're doing. And right now, kids are they're a little scared. They don't care that it was Willie this past year and Jimbo the year before. They see 6-6 and 5-7, and they go, I don't know. I mean, some of these other schools I'm offering are trending up. Florida State's trending downward. Do I really want to be a part of this overhaul process? And that's when you need some special 3 stars and 4 stars to say, yeah, we're going to rebuild this. We're going to do it together. LaMarcus Joyner was one of those, and that's why he's one of the most beloved Noles ever.
I think Dante Lucas could end up being one of those guys for us. He's that was really big. Not that I thought he would go somewhere else, but as the hours ticked by today, where he was the most sure thing that we had, right? And all of a sudden, he wasn't there, and I thought, I'm sure it was scheduled this way. I don't look at every kid's, time at the desk, but I was getting uneasy. Just if that hadn't happened, Tom, we may have had to shut the show down. Because, damn it, man. Can you imagine if Dante Lucas hadn't signed?
A little Libations Wednesday.
That'd be, I'll see you after Christmas break. That would have, good God, man. That would have been devastating. I don't think I would have done so well there. So
Dante Lucas to Gainesville. Well, yeah, that would have been you getting burned by 2 interior linemen in the same year, one pro, one college. It would be Quentin Nelson all over again. You wouldn't be saying Dante. You'd say, Quentin, damn it.
I swear, I'm still the guy that looks to the heavens every time Quentin Nelson is shown in the highlight reel just pancaking some poor bastard, or he's pulling out, running a 4.6 40 at 300 pounds.
Yeah.
You see it all the time. Every week, they're like, watch this block from rookie. No, I don't want to see it.
Quentin Nelson mic'd up.
You hear people go,
literally screaming. That's what he does.
Nuts. He's nuts. And he's freaking awesome.
He's that guy from Waterboy, when he lights up other guys. Woo! Woo!
Oh, man.
Jesus.
So DeAndre Francois is, I'm sure, quote unquote, according to Willie Taggart, weighing his options. That would be, okay, we'll see you at Tennessee. We'll see you somewhere else down the line. I guess you could throw another SEC school in there. Some think Arkansas, some think a couple of different schools, yeah.
Tennessee. It's funny, you try and picture players in those colors in that jersey. Could you see him in the old Tennessee orange?
I could see him anywhere where they're able to block it up. He would be fruitful. He's not great. He's not, an elite superstar player, but he's more than serviceable if you block it up.
Watch him use his legs wherever he goes.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that. That would piss me off. Look at this. I'm not going to make the joke that I was going to make.
The fire in your eyes in that second of silence.
I was making a joke, and then I was processing the joke in my head. Maturity, Tom. I realized that's not a good idea.
Albert Brooks, restraint.
Cricket.
Bloomberg Business of Sports report. I'm Charlie Pellet. New Jersey is considering renewing financial subsidies to its horse racing industry. Former Governor Chris Christie, a Republican, ended state support for the industry 7 years ago, diverting the money to help struggling Atlantic City. But under his Democratic successor, Phil Murphy, the state is advancing a $100 million plan to subsidize the racing industry. To Floyd Mayweather, his 3-round match on New Year's Eve in Japan is for entertainment only. His opponent is Tenshin Nasukawa, a kickboxer who has taken a crash course in boxing. Mayweather hasn't fought since beating Conor McGregor more than a year ago for his 50th win in 50 fights. He returned to this matchup only after getting the rules clarified to make his first bout in Japan more about entertainment. There will be no judges and no official results. And that's the Bloomberg Business of Sports report. I'm Charlie Pellet.
Indeed knows it's hard to find qualified candidates when you're hiring.
It's like finding a unicorn.
But when you post your job on Indeed, it's easy to find people with the skills you need.
Nurse practitioner, 4+ years experience, acute care certification.
Indeed has a huge pool of amazing candidates and screener tools that help you find your most qualified applicants.
Whoa, an entire short list of unicorns.
See why more than 3 million companies worldwide use Indeed to hire. Post your job at Indeed.com/hire. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Source ComScore total visits.
What does building a better bank look like? It starts with building Capital One cafes, warm, inviting places that feel nothing like a typical bank, where you can open an account with no fees or minimums in 5 minutes. And you'll always find people ready to help you, not sell you. Welcome to Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One and a member FDIC. Cafes available in select locations. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Tallahassee has always loved the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway for its delicious food, cold drinks, and Vegas wall of 8 50-inch flat-screen TVs. Now, the Corner Pocket gives you a new reason to start off every week at the CP. Monday Night Mania. Enjoy 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers of beer every Monday night from 7:30 till 11 p.m. That's right, 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers as you enjoy Monday night on the gridiron. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and Monday Mania. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Are you interested in helping your son or daughter take their athletic performance to the next level? Hi, my name is Louis Dobosensky, personal trainer at Momentum Fitness on Capitol Circle. With over 14 years of experience training athletes at the high school and collegiate levels, including SMU, LSU, and here at Florida State, I can help you do just that. Call Momentum Fitness today at 850-385-9712 to set up your free consultation with me today. Again, that number is 850-385-9712.
WWE Superstar Experience presents WWE Live. Saturday night, January 5th at Tallahassee's Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. You'll see Seth Rollins defend the Intercontinental Championship against Dean Ambrose.
But wait! There's more!
You'll also see free agent John Cena. Plus, in spite of injury, Braun Strowman goes one-on-one with Baron Corbin and more. Don't wait. Great seats available now at TuckerCivicCenter.com.
Imagine your dream carpet installed for free. The Home Depot offers all-inclusive installation on minimum purchases of $699. That's removal of your old carpet, basic furniture moving, and stairs, so the dream carpet you want comes at the price you were expecting. Free carpet installation that's actually free. The Home Depot. More saving. More doing. Valid only on showroom carpet price $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately. License numbers including CGC 1514813 and CRC 046858. Available at homedepot.com/license numbers.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for our all-new Ultimate Cheesy Garlic Bread. How would you like it?
I'll take a skeptical grandma.
Set in her ways?
A smidge.
Grandma, try this Ultimate Meatball Marinara made with Ultimate Cheesy Garlic Bread. Melted mozzarella, Parmesan, garlic butter spread. It's just like yours.
Like mine? My grandmother's recipe?
Try it.
You know, my grandmother's cheesy garlic bread was never all that.
Subway, make it what you want. Limited time only at participating restaurants.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Roy Williams has been to the Final Four as a head coach 9 times. That's 4th on the all-time list. He'll have a good chance to move up that list now. The 68-year-old Williams gets an 8-year contract extension. His deal with the Tar Heels now runs until 2028. College hoops tonight, a battle of 9-1 teams on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern. 7th-ranked Auburn plays at NC State. From the NFL, Panthers quarterback Cam Newton expected to be shut down for the rest of the season with a right shoulder injury. The team has lost 6 games in a row and is on the brink of elimination from the playoff race. To college football, where Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa expects to be fully ready for the college football playoff semifinal at the Orange Bowl a week from Saturday. Tagovailoa is coming back from surgery for a high ankle sprain.
I think I should be able to be 100% hopefully by next week, Monday. I feel like we've been progressing really well every day as the day's been going by, as we've been practicing. And then we have a 3-day break or 4-day break, and I think taking time off is going to help as well, just rehabbing every day. And then when it comes time to full go with practice on Monday to prepare for the game, we should be fine.
His surgery was 2.5 weeks ago. Miami Heat guard Goran Dragic will be out for 2 months after arthroscopic surgery on his right knee today. The team is hoping to get him back after the All-Star break. Right-hander Matt Harvey signs a 1-year deal with the Angels. The deal is worth $11 million for Harvey, who is now 29. The governing bodies of pro tennis are promising to implement recommendations to fight back against corruption in the sport. That pledge comes after reports of more than a dozen players involved in match fixing.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Coverage of the early signing period is brought to you here on the Jeff Cameron Show by our friends at the Deck Pizza Pub in downtown Tallahassee. From the folks that brought you Metro Deli, which is still around and kicking ass.
16 years now, I heard.
The Deck Pizza Pub is in the old downtown Po' Boys location on East College Avenue. Love that deck. The deck features the best Neapolitan pizza in town with craft beer and cocktails, all inside a renovated indoor restaurant and on the outdoor deck that you know and love. The Deck Pizza Pub in downtown Tallahassee. Thank you, Michael, for sending me a tweet at Jay Cameron Show. Look at what them kids doing, Jeff. Indeed, hashtag a-hole.
Hashtag a-hole.
Yeah. Chris, on the other hand, has some concerns. Let's address those. At _ Tom Lang, at Jay Cameron Show. Hey, guys, we really don't have another quarterback after JB. Would you say Willie has him right where he wants him? Or this is probably a bad sign? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, Chris. It's not ideal. I got to imagine he's got somebody in the pipeline there. Somebody's going to be making their way to Tallahassee. Perhaps that somebody is Justin Fields, and then all is right with the world. If it's not, okay, there's the kid at Ball State. Might be an improvement, certainly. Might there be another stud recruit that you had on the back burner in case you didn't get Howell, who will make his decision at a later date? That's possible as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But this is our concern, dude. I understand. There's reason to be concerned.
Right. As a staff, the message may be calm down. We're going to get somebody in here, but
nothing is...
Nothing, you're right.
Yeah.
But as a fan base, hey, man, as a fan base, if you're saying, hey, you told me some stuff and it didn't really turn out exactly the way you told me it was going to be.
Yeah.
So
and now this year,
I'm going to be concerned about it.
Yeah.
I think you're right to do that.
Khalil Tate planning to return to Arizona for his senior season. That was announced earlier today. Okay. I wasn't hoping to hear that.
That's one name off the list.
That's a name off the list. And all right. But there are lots of other names. Hopefully they start flooding the portal. Our portal is overflowing. 17 quarterback potential transfers, Coach, right here in the portal. Look for yourself. They're everywhere.
We're going to be like Boston College with tight ends. We're going to have 6 active every Saturday.
Or linebackers of Polish descent. It's shocking. Year in and year out.
Walensky? Yeah. You sure? Where are you from? Compton? Huh. Well, what do you know?
Don't say.
That's what you
I
get.
would have never
assuming
thunk
things.
it. How about them apples? Yeah, man. What if they? I just continue to. So a program that is trending poorly with 6-6 and 5-7 records in the past 2 seasons hires a coach that is thought to be a recruiting wizard who doesn't crack a top 15 class ranking in the early period. No reason to be concerned at all at Jay Cameron Show. Exactly. That is, yes, I have not dismissed the Florida State faithful's concerns and complaints today. I have not. A lot of people are like, oh, this is ridiculous. All these fans are complaining. Well, okay.
It's
not real ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
If you're saying he's never going to succeed and that's what you're going
That's
to,
ridiculous.
that's insane. That's ridiculous at this juncture.
That's not based on overwhelming amounts of evidence just yet, and it certainly differs from his track record of success, so we'll hold off. But
there is one more than one playing card, I would say, in that pile, right?
Yeah.
It's not 27. You know, it's just,
No.
Maybe it's 3 or 4 cards in that pile.
I share your concerns. These are valid concerns. I am less than thrilled with the way things have turned out up to this point. Is that a way of phrasing it? I don't walk around going, man, this era is off to a swimming start. We are kicking ass. Look at us. Nope, not doing that.
It's like there's a movie trailer, for Willie Taggart's era. It's like fabulous.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
this is going to be great.
Can I give it 6 stars? Jeff Cameron, the Jeff Cameron Show.
Yeah, by the way, the previews, like when you read about an upcoming movie or you read the book for a movie, so you know, or one of your favorite books gets turned into a movie, let's say, and then you see the preview and you're sitting there in the front row or whatever, the best seat you've selected, and you're sitting with your significant other or somebody who has a like taste, and then the preview starts. You're like, oh, this is the preview for whatever. And then, boom, it starts, and you're like, oh, that's an interesting choice for the lead. Okay. And then you keep watching, and then at some point, like, you don't want to say it. Neither one of you want to say it to each other. You just kind of look over. That'll be interesting. I don't know.
Oh.
They
went with The Rock for Oliver Twist.
I didn't.
It's an interesting choice.
Casting choice there. Maybe he pulls it off. Guy's been a surprise up to this point. I would have never guessed all those years ago, $20 million a film. I'll tell you that. You're just finding things. You're just trying. You're like, well.
Please, sir, I will lay the smackdown on you if you don't give me more. Oliver Twist.
No, I'm saying we are in the midst now as big advocates. Love the book. Everything, every write-up that we had heard previous to seeing that review had us excited. And now we've seen the review and the preview, and we're going, I don't know.
Louis Anderson is Harry Potter, huh?
I don't know. I'm not feeling that. That's not. They can't get it all in a preview, though, Tom. They probably didn't want to spoil us with all the good stuff that we're missing out on here, but I would have thought they would have at least shown
Louis riding the broomstick. I don't know, man.
Now that actually I would be excited about it. Like, they had it. It's a spoof. Here we go. They had it. Yeah, that would be a good thing. All right, so we're with you, complainers. We're with you with concern, not overriding. This is a unmitigated failure, disaster. We are screwed.
We're not chucking Molotovs, above the castle wall.
Oh, man. I can feel it. I know my tone. Sorry, guys. I'm getting there. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with. Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, this is it, the end of the year, and Nissan has pulled out all the stops with not just huge rebates and 0% on most 2019 models, but the addition of holiday bonus cash now through January 2nd. You've heard me say how aggressively we are discounting the 2019s, but listen to this. Kraft Nissan will sell our 100 remaining 2018s at unheard of below invoice prices. Told my managers to take all reasonable offers and move out all 2018s by the close of business January 2nd. Not only that, but next month your trade will be a year older. So if you've been thinking of trading, your trade will never be worth more than right now, up to $2,000 more. So whether you're bargain hunting for a 2018 or looking for the latest 2019 model, you need to put Kraft Nissan on your holiday shopping list. This is not an end of the month sale. This is the year-end super sale. So hurry to Kraft Nissan because time is running out on 2018 and savings like these only come along once a year. Happy holidays from our family to yours. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Edwin Watts Golf presents a special holiday offer from Titleist. The Pro V1 and Pro V1X are the #1 ball in golf used by tour players and amateurs around the world. And right now, they're only $39.99 a dozen, making them the #1 gift in golf. And now available, the new TS Metal Woods. 2 distinct designs that bring more speed to your game. TS2 lets you swing aggressive with maximum forgiveness across the face, while TS3 offers an adjustable sweet spot for speed-tuned performance. This holiday season, shop Edwin Watts Golf, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop for tripping out and truck. Truck and Car Concepts, people with their cars, we're #1 by far.
Your smoking hot sound system is waiting for you this week at Truck and Car Concepts on Mahan Drive. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and Tallahassee's newest authorized Alpine dealer.
Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop for tripping out your truck. Truck and Car Concepts, people with their cars, we're #1 by far.
Step up to the superior sound of Alpine audio systems. Connect the full control of your phone with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay from Tallahassee's market leader.
Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop, we always aim to please. Truck and Car Concepts, everything is here from A to Z.
Call 656-8800.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Roy Williams has been to the Final Four as a head coach 9 times. That's 4th on the all-time list. He'll have a good chance to move up that list now. The 68-year-old Williams gets an 8-year contract extension. His deal with the Tar Heels now runs until 2028. College hoops tonight, a battle of 9-1 teams on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern. 7th-ranked Auburn plays at NC State. From the NFL, Panthers quarterback Cam Newton expected to be shut down for the rest of the season with a right shoulder injury. The team has lost 6 games in a row and is on the brink of elimination from the playoff race. To college football, where Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa expects to be fully ready for the college football playoff semifinal at the Orange Bowl a week from Saturday. Tagovailoa is coming back from surgery for a high ankle sprain.
I think I should be able to be 100% hopefully by next week, Monday. I feel like we've been progressing really well every day as the day's been going by, as we've been practicing. And then we have a 3-day break or 4-day break, and I think taking time off is going to help as well, just rehabbing every day. And then when it comes time to full go with practice on Monday to prepare for the game, we should be fine.
His surgery was 2.5 weeks ago. Miami Heat guard Goran Dragic will be out for 2 months after arthroscopic surgery on his right knee today. The team is hoping to get him back after the All-Star break. Right-hander Matt Harvey signs a one-year deal with the Angels. The deal is worth $11 million for Harvey, who is now 29. The governing bodies of pro tennis are promising to implement recommendations to fight back against corruption in the sport. That pledge comes after reports of more than a dozen players involved in match fixing.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Try not to miss things, my friends, but I understand. It's the holiday season. It's crazy. You're running around. You don't always have the time. That's why we got you covered. All 3 hours posted upon the conclusion of the show every day. Today's no different. You'll find it on iTunes, where you can subscribe to the show. Do it. You can also find it on our website, ESPNTallahassee.com, and you can find it on the free app, good for all your mobile devices, the WTSM app. We house the show there as well, so you can get caught up. Feel free to email if you like. It's jcs@979espnradio.com. You can watch us on YouTube if you like. Hello, YouTubers. You know, I almost did it, Tom, today. I almost wore the green shirt, my green polo shirt underneath the red sweater, but it wasn't quite close enough yet.
You know what's disappointing is I looked for about a good 15, 20 minutes, which is a long time if you're dedicating it to looking for one thing.
You're damn right it is.
My FSU Santa hat.
You can't find it.
I thought I put it away with the tree last year, so I checked in those boxes.
Can't find it.
I'm a little perturbed. I know I can go get one pretty much anywhere, but I like that one. So I got to find it before Friday's event, that's for sure.
You certainly would not have thrown it away, sir.
Hell to the no.
Got to find that for sure. Anyhow, when we get closer to Christmas, I'll do the green and red because that's what I do. You can email us. I think I said that, jcs@979espnradio.com. And on YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. Hello, YouTubers. Here's the deal. Florida State, early signing period underway. Florida State did okay, didn't do great. Fans are a little frustrated by all of this. First things first, if you're a casual observer of, let's say, recruiting, then, you know, you're not insanely invested. But you've heard the name Sam Howell. He was the quarterback that was going to come save the day for Florida State because he could run the system. The kid from North Carolina had been a verbal commit to Florida State for eons. Today, he signed with North Carolina. That, on the surface, is not a good thing. That has many wringing their hands. Akeem Dent, the five-star defensive back, has not signed with Florida State, but he has not signed elsewhere either. We'll have to wait and see. He may sign on the actual signing day, the traditional signing day.
Still got some time between now and Friday,
Let's
obviously.
see what we can do to hopefully win his services. It's thought to be between us and Alabama. Don't like our chances. From there, we would take a look. Where else do you want to go, Tom, in the world of disappointment? I guess you would add all of this onto the initial disappointment, which was Thibodeau, the kid from California, signing with Oregon. And when you put those three things together, people are a little frustrated.
Well, the Thibodeau thing is we kind of knew he wasn't coming to Florida State for some time. That's a consensus across all recruiting services. But it just, today when he finalizes that deal, and you see how in the entirety of the process, Oregon kind of shows up at the last moment, really. It's a kick to the place that's not so awesome to get kicked in because we were the leader for his services entering the season, and it kind of bookmarks for me. Just, I mean, he was one of the bell cows of the entire signing class across all schools. He's the type of person that you could circle and say, we got our superstar player. Remember when Mario Edwards Jr. signed with Florida State?
Right.
And he got all the graphics.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, wow, look at Florida State, and it was a picture of Mario Edwards. Or when Jameis did. He would have been that type of player, and we lost him simply because I think the season was terrible.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it happens that way, Tom. Sometimes we're busy looking for all the reasons that kids choose your school or don't choose your school, and sometimes it's as simple as, well, we weren't any good. Now, Oregon's not exactly out there kicking ass and taking names, but we gave him reason to look elsewhere, and that's frustrating. And on the heels of that initial disappointment, and you follow it up with the two names that I brought up a moment ago, in addition to losing a 4-star defensive lineman to Texas A&M, people are getting more and more concerned, and I think it's part of a pattern of disappointment. That's what I described it as last hour, is that, okay, look, we all know the deal here, that initially new coaching staffs come in, shake things up. They obviously get kids to buy into a vision, to a concept, to a way of doing things. They're all in. They, in turn, help recruit for you. You make a splash in recruiting early on in your tenure. You're able to turn things around. You get moving in the right direction. The path to greatness is not usually go ahead and suck, go 5-7, break a streak that has been cemented for over 40 years, and then have an average recruiting class. That's not usually the path to greatness. Yeah. And so that's all right. He's not anywhere close. There are some really talented players here. The commits to Florida State today, many of which I think will be a big part of Florida State's success moving forward if it happens. But it's also not a splash.
Well, the hard part is that if you deal with a kid who's just a complete diva, or their family, they like to be involved in the process a little too much, and they like to have their name in the headlines of these recruiting services, that's one thing. If there are relationships that just are stronger than the relationships your staff, formed in terms of the bonds between recruiter and player, you can live with that. But when kids, by and large, say no to you because of the results on the field, that's the one that's the kick in the cojones, man. I know I've gone back to that twice this segment, but think about it. If you beat Miami, do you get one or two more of these players? If you get to 7 wins, do you get one or two more of these players that said no to Florida State today? And that's something that you could have controlled, and that we hoped and we thought, we expected on the eve of the season that we were going to get, is at least 7-8 wins to give enough of a pitch for the kids to ride a wave of momentum. I think this group has done a really good job of recruiting to salvage what we do have. But the problem is we're doing that just to survive, not to thrive. And you want to thrive here, so you got to give the kids a reason to believe.
Yeah, and that's why I talked about it compared relative to expectations today is somewhat of a disappointment. But if you just look overall and purely objectively look at this class, what it is, it's a good class. It's not a great class. It's a good class. If somebody else that we played against on the regular signed this class, if this were Louisville's class, if this were Virginia Tech's class, you'd go, that's a good class. Got some good players. But we're not Louisville or Virginia Tech. Traditionally, we're better by a lot than those two schools. Haven't been in a while, but traditionally we are. And so we compare ourselves to a higher standard. We like to compare ourselves to the best teams in the country. And right now, that's not as easy to do.
Well, it's one thing to salvage a class
back to Arizona, so he's not coming. All that's left is all right. There's on the current.
These things are cyclical, right? I just want to.
Oh, they are.
Okay.
And you met needs at linebacker today, and you met needs at offensive line, 2 critical areas of need. So, okay, all is not a failure, but just assessing the class, those are disappointed people. I get it. Then there are the people that say, okay, hold off. It's not a nightmare. Well, it's not a nightmare. I agree with you. I don't want to paint that picture. There's still, let's find out what grad transfers are out there. Who do you get? If you get another offensive lineman, if you get a quarterback worth a damn, okay.
Yeah, I guess the example would be, would you rather have, if you're trying to be positive here today, would you rather have the number 6 or number 4 class in the country that has a bunch of skill position players that you don't need right now, or would you rather have a class that's in the teens, but it addresses the needs that you do have? Because Jimbo did a lot of finishing in the top 10, top 5, but the offensive line situation was originally and is originally a problem of that coaching staff's in terms of development, in terms of finding talent.
Actually recruiting people?
In terms of actual raw numbers of
people,
players.
Yes. No, I know. And I brought that up earlier. Look, that's important to balance the conversation. I mean, they stopped recruiting. A couple years ago, they brought in 1 freaking lineman. I mean, yes.
But you got to know that we can develop them. And that's where the other thing is like, all right, so we're not as good as we thought we would be at recruiting. Let's see if we can develop them. And how's your confidence in the whole development thing right now? It's not as high as it was certainly back in August.
Look, depending on where you're looking, if you're wondering where Florida State comes in today, the early signing period, it is a top 15 class. So I want to reiterate, this is not a situation where Florida State failed to meet needs, failed to bring in good players, failed across the board. That's just simply not true. Of course you're going to be behind Clemson right now. Yes, you're going to be behind an Oklahoma. Yes, you're going to be behind a Notre Dame, a Georgia, and Alabama, all schools that have had much better seasons. Now, is it disappointing to be behind a team like, say, Oregon? Yes, it is very disappointing to be behind Oregon. It's disappointing to be behind Michigan, who has continued to not live up to expectations and frequently get absolutely embarrassed by rivals. That upsets me. It's not good to be behind Arkansas, who did nothing this year. Agreed. But having said all of that, for the season that Florida State had, depending on where you look, they've got a better class currently than Auburn, Washington, Florida, Stanford, Nebraska. I mean, so, okay.
Ohio State currently, unless they did some work in the last 3 or 4 hours.
Ohio State is exactly right. Southern Cal, Ole Miss, on down the list, okay? So there's that.
It's about as positive as you can be, right? There's that.
Well, I mean, those are some big-ass names. I mean, those are teams that you would have thought, maybe not Southern Cal, they're flying in the side of a mountain, but, I mean, some of these other schools you would have thought would have had a much – Ohio State, for one. I know Urban Meyer's gone, but Scott Frost in Nebraska is not exactly mowing them down.
That's true.
See?
That is Nebraska. It's easier to recruit kids to here, isn't it?
They're behind Florida. We're ahead of Florida, who beat us head-to-head and had a much better season. I think I know what you're going for there.
Christmas time?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Great. That's my favorite Christmas song.
It is a great Christmas song.
It's perfect. It's Christmas time.
They were the first band that did all that. Like all those guys together doing something for somebody.
Band-Aid?
Band-Aid, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Sting and Bono and
all of them. Yeah, Bono was there. Bono was there.
Yeah, it was all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, anyway, Christmas time. It is a time for those great Cuban sandwich trays, Jeff.
Pickles. Oh, baby. The pickles are always so crisp on those things.
I am the king of pickleness.
I like that, too. It's not a word, but it's an action.
Pickleness is a word. It certainly is. I just said it.
If you feel better about calling yourself the king of pickle. I'm not going to argue that you guys are the kings of the pickle. Gordos is the king of the pickle, but pickleness is not a word.
Pickleness? OMG, SMDH. Those all became words. Why not pickleness?
Those are abbreviations.
Well,
can you get an abbreviation for pickleness?
Pickleness?
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
It's that time of year again where you get to shop for the naughty and the nice. Make it easy. Super Lube it with a Super Change card. Visit any of our 19 area Super Lube locations, buy 3 oil changes and get 1 free. And for a limited time, you'll also receive a free fuel system cleaner. Super Lube. It's quick and convenient, and you never need an appointment. Hurry in and get your Super Change card plus a free fuel system cleaner today.
How I love to Super Lube my car, lube my car. How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
If you enjoyed Welcome to Rockville over the years, get ready for May 3rd, 4th, and 5th at Metropolitan Park in Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome to Rockville 2019. Tool, Korn, Rob Zombie, Judas Priest, Shinedown, Prodigy, Incubus. Central.
With Bring Me the Horizon, Papa Roach, Evanescence, Chevelle, The Cult, The Struts. In this moment, 3 days, May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Go to WelcomeToRockvilleFestival.com for all ticket and lineup info. Tool, Judas Priest, Rob Zombie, Incubus, Korn, Shinedown, and so many more. Florida's #1 rock festival. Welcome to Rockville.
Hi, I'm President John Thrasher. I'm here with some of our outstanding marching chiefs. They've been invited to an incredible opportunity, and they need your help. Next June, the marching chiefs will travel to France and represent both the state of Florida and the United States at the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion on the beaches of Normandy. As both an Army veteran and the president of the university dedicated to student veteran success, I know what a meaningful opportunity this is for these talented musicians. But experiences like this can be out of reach for many students. So today, I'm asking for your support so we can send as many of our marching chiefs as possible to this monumental event. Visit give.fsu.edu/Normandy. Thank you, and go Noles!
Are you interested in helping your son or daughter take their athletic performance to the next level? Hi, my name is Louis Dobosensky, personal trainer at Momentum Fitness on Capitol Circle. With over 14 years of experience training athletes at the high school and collegiate levels, including SMU, LSU, and here at Florida State, I can help you do just that. Call Momentum Fitness today at 850-385-9712 to set up your free consultation with me today. Again, that number is 850-385-9712.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Real quick, this is not football related, but just an ask, if you will, from me to you. As you guys know, the bowling tournament is coming up this Friday, and I could not be more elated about that, as every year we are able to put on this little bowling tournament and collect toys and gift cards for the children of the Guardian Ad Litem. And I was talking today with my friend Deborah from the Guardian Ad Litem, and she does amazing things for kids who are in great need. And I just wanted to – it sounds like I'm getting choked up. I'm not. My eyes are burning. I got something in my eyes somehow just before we started this segment, but that's not going to deviate from the message.
Stay tough, Cameron.
You can do it. But anyhow, long story short, I was talking with Deborah today, and it would appear that there is a real need for those who would like to be an advocate for kids in the Guardian Ad Litem program, kids who are just really having to do without and or have been neglected and abused and have come into the program in need of help, kids who haven't had good Christmases or good days of the year, period. And so if you're somebody who's thought about it for a long time and wanted to be a part of something like that and help change a kid's life for the better, call them at the Guardian Ad Litem and find out how you can help, how you can be an advocate, what you can do in some way, shape, or form to help out kids that are in desperate need. This is in part due to the opioid crisis. A lot of need out there for kids that have been neglected, whose parents were hopped up on goofballs and not doing what is needed to be done for their children. There are other factors in play here, but they've seen an influx of more kids this year, an alarming number of kids this year in the surrounding area when compared year to year, if you will. And so anything you can do to help. And that's true, too, of just doing what you can by dropping off a couple of toys for kids that we can take with us to the tournament this Friday. We're going to be at Capitol Lanes. Want to thank the people at Capitol Lanes. It was last second. That's on me. Of course, Crenshaw Lanes has hosted us every year for eons, but they destroyed it. Now, that's a way of saying that, but they're also rebuilding, of course, as you guys know, over there in the Student Union. And we needed a new locale, and because I waited, frankly, the holiday season, it gets booked. And so they found a way to fit us in, and they're doing right by us. And we want to thank the people at Capital Lanes for providing this opportunity. So even if you can't bowl, I guess is what I was going to get at, and you just want to swing by the studio, if you can give a gift card, if you're thinking about helping the older kids, because a lot of times the older kids get forgotten about. People see little kids, tugs at the heartstring, and they tend to give. See a 14-year-old, for whatever reason, they oftentimes get overlooked, not unlike, and I'm not comparing kids to dogs, but you go to an animal shelter, the older dogs a lot of times don't get adopted as opposed to a puppy. So, but they all need help, and they all appreciate it. So if you want to drop off gift cards, feel free. If you want to drop off a toy, a new toy for a boy and a girl, however you want to do it, that'd be great too. But moreover, if you can do it and you've been thinking about it, find out what it would take to be an advocate for these kids. Heart-wrenching stories that I get to hear about, unfortunately, but also get to help do something about with this medium. That's fortunate. So asking you today to consider it if you can. It's hard. I get it.
Well, and if you'd like to bowl, we have one opening. One team dropped out this
Sons
week.
of bitches.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that's how we bring it back to our levity.
I'm kidding.
Oh, my God. That's as good as you got me ever.
There you go. Yeah.
But you can contact, you can send an email, tom@979espnradio.com. I'll even put the portal back up.
We
the
got
other
our
portal,
own portal, baby.
espntallahassee.com. But we had one team drop out. So if you do want to bowl a group
Team of four. Yeah.
Yeah. As the captain, just send us your information, and we can get you signed up. First come, first serve.
Should note that event is this Friday. It's coming up this Friday, and we're going to all meet over there at Capital Lanes. They're ready for us just after 6. I think officially the event starts at 6:30. We'll be racing over there from finishing the show and have a good time with you. But, again, if you can't bowl, I understand. You want to swing by and be a part of it and help contribute. That's great. Please do. Anything helps. And if you do want to play, as Tom just said, go to the website, espntallahassee.com. You'll see it right on the front page. It's pretty easy.
At about 5:30. Give me 5 minutes. I'll get it up.
All right, so we'll get that up there for you, and you can register your team. Well played. And then, yes, of course, the studios here off of Capitol Circle. You can look us up and come on in and help out. By the way, again, I know I'm prattling on here, but it's such an important cause to me, and I think most people certainly want to see kids have some glimpse of a decent Christmas or something to latch onto on Christmas Day. You guys are amazing. I try to bring that up as often as possible. I don't always do a good job of it, whether it's me thanking you as a listener on a day-to-day basis or loyal listener for years and years and years, or it's you contributing over the years the way that so many of you have. People have stopped by the studio here and dropped off gift cards and gifts, and we appreciate it. Just as many of you have also stopped by Bumpers on Capitol Circle and Gordo's. They're participating in basically a clothing drive, if you will. They're collecting jackets and sweatshirts for kids who need it, obviously, as they wait on the bus and try to go to school during the wintertime months. Not everybody is where they need to be from a clothing standpoint, so you can help out. So, all right, that's inventory. That's stuff we got to do, but that's stuff that I like to do. That's stuff where people can help out, and most of you do that, so that'll be good.
There's going to be a boatload of wings on Friday at the bowling alley, too.
Yeah.
So come hungry.
Food, I think everybody gets 5 or 6 wings. That'll be good. And plus, there's probably more than that, given that not everybody's going to wolf down. Yeah. So we should be in good shape. I'm getting 160 easy early. Just an easy, you know how like your elite young pitchers that throw that fastball, it looks like it just explodes out of their hand. They're throwing an easy 95, an easy 96. Tom, we're going to roll in here with an easy 166, 168 early, just an easy 168. And then we'll see if we can ratchet it up in game 2, maybe even stick around for a game 3.
When exactly did it turn for you? Around 2014 or 2015? The light bulb clicked on.
You were there that day that I rolled a 198.
Oh, God.
I'm still.
You got iced.
Well, we don't want to talk about that.
Oh, man, you got iced.
You could see I was a little frustrated. I was mad at myself the more I thought about it. I should have gone into my routine, but you see, I don't have a routine. There is no bowling routine for me.
Should have gotten a refill even if you didn't need one. Just get in line.
I should have done something. Dude was not aware of the situation in the lane next to us, lacked the courtesy to see that the host was on the verge of rolling in the 200s. My man just stood there chit-chatting away, chit-chatting and chit-chatting while I stood holding a bowling ball, waiting on him to kindly move.
Did one of those where he's turning to go, and then he said, well, wait a minute. Now, what did you?
Turned back as I had already
180.
begun. I had begun the approach to the line, the whole deal. Cost me a chance at a 200, Tom. That's just lingered for some time. You're right. That was weird. The light bulb went off. But it's fleeting. It comes and goes.
Now, what you can do now, if you run into that situation, it's very simple. Just say, excuse me, sir, I drive a QX80. And so that means you need to get out of my way.
You too, sir, could drive an Infinity QX80 like yours truly if you go by and see Craft at Craft Infinity, all new Craft Infinity. And boy, are you pampered. That part's true. And so is the part that I drive an Infinity QX80, which doesn't suck. But you're pampered when you go there. They know what's what. They figure you're coming in here buying nice things. We'll treat you nice. We'll do you right. We'll go that extra mile. That's what we do.
Within reason, of course.
I don't want to start a new segment. I don't think I can. Get signed up. Tom's going to put the portal up. See if Justin Fields signs up in that portal. If Justin Fields signs up, we'll let him bowl, and then we'll give him large sums of money to play quarterback for Florida State. Kidding. Can't do that. Don't want to get us in trouble. If somebody else did that, I can't control it.
The portal's up, so go ahead. Go ahead. Sign up. First come, first serve.
You know, before we go to break, I would like to look at what in the world is going on at Arkansas. We're inching towards a top 10 class at Arkansas. I think my man's like, look here, I didn't come here to play games. We're all in.
If I get a show cause penalty for Arkansas, who the hell cares? As soon as that thing's up, I'm going to get hired because they think, my God, he got people to Arkansas?
It's just impressive. Every year there's a team where you go, well, that is amazing. It was Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss for a time there. We were like, well, out of nowhere, Ole Miss matters.
Can't believe we didn't hire him. Son of a gun.
But no, I mean, every year there's somebody, what is going on there? That's amazing. Now, not everybody is cheating. Not everybody is doing what I'm alleging here. I'm just saying that there's some people who are really good at recruiting, others who are really aggressive, others who do both. And it appears that one of those things is happening right now at Arkansas.
You know, we mentioned one of those. It's a little bit different, but it's the same concept. That what are they doing on this list? Buffalo, the basketball team,
they played
NCAA
last
men's
night.
Basketball. They beat the hell out of Syracuse.
Yeah, it's not going to be a banner year for Syracuse.
At the Carrier Dome. I mean, still, though, for Buffalo.
Yeah, the heat didn't get to them, apparently. I know it's wintertime, but inside that dome, everybody else
They do have a
falls
heater.
the
They
hell out.
actually do have one of those, yeah.
Drew Thompson, Derek McClendon, Jaleel McCray, Curtis Fan, Malcolm Ray, Kayvon Glenn, Maurice Goolsby, Renardo Green, Jarvis Brownlee, Jay Williams, big offensive tackle, JUCO transfer, Maurice Smith, an offensive guard from Miami Central, Kalen DeLoach, stud linebacker out of Georgia, Raymond Woody III, of course, son of Coach Woody, and Dante Lucas, 4-star stud at IMG Academy down in Bradenton on the offensive line. All the commits today for Florida State. And those are guys that are good football players. I think in large part are overshadowed by Florida State fans' expectations, and they're frustrated. But I think that I think it's a good class. It's just not a great class.
It's probably one. So we've had better classes in terms of the rankings and overall talent, but I don't know in the last 3 to 4 years if we've had a class that met the needs as aggressively as this one, because even Willie said today he fully expects to have at least one more offensive lineman. They're going to bring some more in here between now and National Signing Day. So, I mean, if you have one of those...
Yeah, no, you get a junior college transfer and maybe a graduate transfer on the offensive line. You give yourself a fighting chance to field something even halfway decent. We're not saying you got to have the best offensive line in the country after today. You got to have something that's passable by the time the start of the year rolls around. And it looks like we're moving to that end, and that is a big damn deal.
One footnote on the Buffalo-Syracuse thing. It's not the first time Buffalo's beaten Syracuse, but it's the first time since 1963. 55 years.
I cracked up at you yesterday. Why is Buffalo ranked 14th in the country, Jeff? They are? You don't really pay attention to college basketball rankings unless your team is ranked like we are and we're playing tonight, unless it's a team in your conference that you got to play and you want to see where they sit on the ledger, you don't really notice all those teams outside the top 10 early season basketball. So, yeah, occasionally you do look up and go, Buffalo, what's going on there?
This is what I was doing. I saw that Gonzaga's in front of us. I'm like, okay, North Carolina.
Well, Gonzaga beat Duke.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Gonzaga. So I'm just looking at the peers. I'm like, well, that makes sense. North Carolina, hey, what the hell? They lost to Texas. Really? Are they okay, I guess? Us, and then Virginia Tech. That makes sense. Buffalo. What in the hell?
Go to MyPillow.com. Get the Christmas special, folks. It's right around the corner. You want a great night's rest, I assure you. My Pillow's pillow is fantastic. You can give it now as a gift. What a great deal they got going on. Free shipping. They've extended the money-back guarantee for you as well. It's their best price ever. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code 979ESPN, and you'll get 2 premium MyPillows, 2 go-anywhere pillows to boot. Like I'm saying, you can give gifts to people this way, and who doesn't want a great pillow? And it is a great pillow. It's the Christmas special. 2 premium MyPillows, 2 go-anywhere pillows. Best price for a 4-pack, free shipping, extended money-back guarantee through March the 1st. Go to MyPillow.com. Christmas special. Click on that button. Promo code 979ESPN. Remember that promo code. It can be used for any offer on MyPillow.com. 979ESPN. Again, MyPillow.com. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shop's work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Football is in the air at Kevin's Fine Outdoor Gear. Regardless of the score, you still need to stock up on all your outdoor needs to get the job done. Kevin's is the area's top outdoor retailer, featuring thousands of hunting supplies from top manufacturers in the business. If hunting's not your thing, shop their great fishing tackle selection, including Shimano, G. Loomis, St. Croix, and much, much more. Need tailgating supplies? Kevin's has the largest selection of Yeti products in North Florida. Find them at 3350 Capitol Circle Northeast, just south of I-10 exit 203. Only minutes from FSU.
Did you know carbon monoxide is odorless and invisible? Help ensure your family is protected from the dangers of carbon monoxide. CO alarms should be installed on every level and in every bedroom. And remember, alarms don't last forever, and it's important to replace them every 5 to 10 years. First Alert has been protecting homes and families since 1958 and encourages you to learn more about whole home safety at firstalert.com and visit Lowe's Home Improvement stores to purchase carbon monoxide alarms today.
Rich Eisen here for Honda. The 2019 Pilot and Ridgeline are here to make your holidays a little brighter and easier. Their available intelligent traction management system can help you be ready for when the winter weather bears down. And innovative access features like the versatile dual-action tailgate on the Ridgeline and the 60/40 split third-row seats in the Pilot even help relieve some of the stress of the season. They're available with Honda Sensing, a suite of safety and driver assistive features. So hurry into your local Honda dealer during the Happy Honda Day sales event going on now.
Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. And when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. This Christmas, may that joy fill your heart now and throughout the coming year. From Dr. Eve James at Southern Smiles Family Dentistry in Quincy, 875-3908. Tasty Pastry Bakery, where Christmas cakes, cookies, and breads are ready for you. Call 893-3752. And the award-winning Tallahassee Family Magazine, available at local retailers and online at tfmmagazine.com.
Well, hello, Eddie. It is always good to see you, sir.
Hey, look at you over here, Jeff.
Bumpus is a good place, and we got the news out there that you were opening Bumpus, but what they don't know, you got something different every day of the week, and now that the games are being played, there's a special for everything.
Oh, my goodness, Jeff. The specials we got during game times. We got 75-cent wings, $3 domestics, $5 craft drafts.
That's well done. $7 premiums, $3 wells. What do you got for, say, a Monday Night Football game?
Monday all day long, Jeff. We do a full rack of ribs special. Half rack, $8.95. Full rack, $12.95.
With a side.
With a side.
I saw it was written there. I had to say it. By the way, do you have something for a Tuesday?
Dude, Tuesday, Taco Tuesdays. Any tacos, $10 with a drink and a side.
It's a good deal. Anything
Wednesdays.
for Wednesdays?
Oh, my goodness. Wednesdays. What a Wednesday special. We got a burger and a beer for $12. And if you so choose, add a bourbon for $3.
Okay, so Bumpus has a lot of things going on for the games. Most importantly, those TVs, delicious food, and a special every day of the week. Bumpus!
Local 349.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. December 19th, 1984. The great one, Wayne Gretzky, recorded his 1,000th career point. At the age of 23, he'd become the youngest player in NHL history to reach that mark. Gretzky entered the 84-85 season only needing 86 points to reach 1,000. He'd get there before Christmas, finishing a season with 73 goals, 135 assists, and a monster 208 points.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Is everybody all right? You guys going to be okay at the end of this day? A lot of angst, Tom. A lot of angst. I will say this. I get the big picture angst because if you compare and contrast the kind of momentum that people get in their first couple of seasons as new head coach at any number of Power 5 schools where the turnaround was completed or later completed, you feel like we're lacking, that it hasn't happened, that huge swoon or that moment where you go, okay, all right, he's tapped into it, that hasn't happened. So,
well, what we talked about in the preseason has come to life, and it was a fear at the time. We might have scoffed at it, but it's like you say, losses happen for a reason. You emote when something like this happens. We knew that if you won 5 or 6 games this season,
there's going to be a problem.
There's going to be a problem for recruiting. That's just the way it was. We knew if you suffered injuries to the offensive line, we were going to be in critical need of a miracle on offense in order to produce somewhere close to 30 points a game, and it happened. But you got to live it. And so now you got to live with it and hope that the bevy of 3-star, borderline 3-4-star type players that we bring in are the real deal, and we can develop them. That's the other thing, too. We got to be better in practice in developing kids and putting them in a position to succeed. So there's just it's still a huge incomplete grade for Willie Taggart's career here and his legacy at Florida State. But all eyes, man, they're going to be watching this thing very closely, and there's not going to be a whole lot of optimism until this show improve.
I wonder what the number has to be. I wonder, well, first of all, like you said, what it looks like will matter too. So, all right. Every time we bring up Bryles, I'm not going to get into this in-depth discussion about how scummy it feels. We've talked about this, so we're moving on here for a second. If he, from a football sense, does what he's been doing, which is kick ass and take names and put up prolific numbers, well, that changes the mindset. That changes the outlook. That changes the mood the fan base is in. It also changes the minds of recruits in the next cycle. If you're out there slinging it about, putting up points, even if you win, say, 7-8 games, and it's not a banner year, but it's an improvement, and you put up, big numbers offensively, then maybe you got a chance to certainly salvage it. I just, It's a unique position to be in a season in which we don't go to a bowl, and then you have what can only be considered, by and large, not shocking today, but by and large, somewhat disappointing by way of comparison to the last 20 years worth of recruiting, somewhat disappointing overall class. You just feel like that momentum has come to a screeching halt. Not to say it can't be salvaged, not to say it can't get back on track, but to analyze it now, to look at it now, you would say, show and prove is right, Tom. They're going to have to go, and you know what's going to be crazy? And we really can talk about it this way all off season. I think, who could have thunk it at the time that they were scheduled? How critical is that Boise State game? I mean, you would have thought of that as an afterthought, kind of a cool little 2-game set against, one of the better Group of 5 schools. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, Group of 5.
Yeah, Group of 5. It always sounds so weird. Everybody changes the name of all these damn.
Well, sometimes they're called G5.
G5.
You're like, well, wait a minute. They're not a powerful nation.
So, yeah. So, all right. You would have thought, okay, listen, Boise's been an interesting team. We saw what they did against Oklahoma. We remember when they played Georgia. They've had their fair share of moments in the sun. And, it's cool that we scheduled them. I've wanted to go out to the blue field and all that. But now this game is over in Jacksonville next year, and we are in flux. We are in a situation in which, man, that game is important. You can't lose that game. I mean, again, think about it. What a disaster if you go to Jacksonville next year to start the season and lose to Boise State. Because each of the last 3 years have begun with a disaster of their own. And the thing spiraled off out of control almost immediately. So around every turn, the one thing that we've looked forward to for the longest every year as diehard football fans is a season, and it begins poorly. And for whatever reason that happens, and then you're left a little bit shell-shocked and bereft of hope. Now you're desperate, you're nervous, you don't like the way things have gone. I don't know, guys, we may have stepped in it here. This is not going like we thought it would. And then you go over there and lose, it's a long way off. And there's a lot of time between that time and this time. I got it. It's not going to be an everyday occurrence. But it'll be in the back of my mind an awful lot as we move forward, this idea that kind of got a significant game again to start the year next year. Last year it was Virginia Tech. Boom, disaster. Year before it was Alabama. Boom, disaster. And the year before that, it wasn't to start the year, but it was in the month of September, and you lose to Louisville by 150 points, and we're done talking.
Yeah, that's a bleak outlook, but that's where we are in this moment.
Yeah.
The thing is, and you can't know how it's going to go, and nobody's going to be pumped for it anyway, but it's critical behind the scenes that spring camp. You get stuff done. You've got to get your offensive linemen that are early enrollees on campus and ready to roll. You've got to get working with that offensive coordinator on ironing things out. I just wonder if there's going to be a reckoning. Independent of what you want to talk about off the field with Kendall Briles and the concerns there, if he comes here and he sees that this thing is grossly out of whack, which I suspect he's going to find, is he going to be the bad cop presence on the offense, where he's going to be a taskmaster type? I just wonder what those dynamics are like, because clearly discipline is ridiculously out of order on top of the fact that you're incompetent on the offensive line. I would think it's not going to be a very pleasant place to be for this roster on offense come spring camp, but you need that. There's got to be a correction period here, and it better start now.
But the hope will be in the air, Tom, because we'll be talking so much about what Fields brings to the team and how cool it was that the NCAA allowed him to play right off the bat for us.
That would change things immediately. People would get pumped. If you bring in a star quarterback like that who can play right away, but that's a long way off. Either him or Hurts, I think people would be a little bit more pumped about it, and then it just all falls as it has the last seemingly forever on the offensive line. You got to get way better there, and you got to get way better quick. And if that means to get to the level of average, you could win 8 games next year, 9 games maybe, and then put this thing in positive momentum.
You're not probably going to get Fields. I think it makes too much sense for him to go a couple of different places, one of which would be Ohio State, one of which would be Oklahoma.
Oklahoma just did sign the number 1 5-star quarterback in this class today.
All right, well, then Oklahoma can be number 2 on his list, and Ohio State would be number 1.
Especially if he has to sit a year. So why would you go sit a year to
do
compete?
the same thing you just did?
Right, exactly right.
Yeah. No, listen, come on down, brother. Believe me, don't get me wrong, and sell the hell out of it because I think there's going to be a place for you here. At the end of the day, it looks certainly like you could come in and play now.
Well, and the thing about the offense in terms of this recruiting class and getting star players, you don't really need star skill players for this upcoming season. You know what I mean?
No,
Like if you can block it up.
You got to block.
Right. You've got Terry Trayshawn Harrison. That's like the envy of almost any program in the country with Cam Akers and hopefully Kalen LeBourne's healthy again at tailback. And then obviously they love Grant, who will be in his second year in the program at that point.
Well, and if Trey McKitty can catch the ball.
Right, exactly. And even if he can just block it up and the group of 5 can block it up relatively decently, even if James Blackman is your quarterback, that schedule is such that you should be able to compete and be in just about any game you play outside of Clemson.
Sure. No, I listen, there's reason for hope. It's not obvious to everybody right now, and that's the feeling you get around the program. That's the feeling you get when you talk to people, both in the fan base, the boosters. Of course, obviously, we saw the product on the field. One thing that's shifted, and I don't mean to bring everybody down. We're getting ready to go over to the basketball game. That team's outstanding. Is that the people that I like to describe as completely level-headed, the people that get it, and all aspects of it, have less confidence than they did before. Mm-hmm. And that is disconcerting. And it's not because they went 5-7. There's more to it than that.
Right.
And that is troubling.
Well, it's because there was a misdiagnosis of how much is wrong here and what needs to be done. I mean, you go back to...
Go back to our conversation, Tom. Our conversation, you and me, on the airwaves. When we started to wonder if he miscalculated what he had and misdiagnosed the problems, and then the methodology used to try to swing everybody.
Yeah, he tried to put his arm around their shoulders, and it failed miserably. It blew up in his face.
So what did we say at that point? We said, boy, it's certainly not a good look when the first major decision you have to make is one in which you swung and missed by a mile.
Right, and the quarterback you tab is somebody that doesn't inspire a locker room.
That's all part of it. That's all part of the misdiagnosis.
Whiff. And the thing is that, a little over a year ago was about being a realignment, not a rebuild. We're in a rebuild.
Right.
So people, listen, man, you don't have to be angry, and you don't have to be...
Well, you can have a level-headed conversation about how I'm a little concerned with what's going on.
You don't have to have the patience of Job either. But if you have any kind of memory, one thing that you were told is, this is just a realignment now. Don't worry about it. This is a realignment. It's not a complete rebuild. Well, that's a load of crap. You didn't know what you were looking at, apparently. So here we are.
In fairness, again, the line situation got worse.
Right, but you would think that would be a caveat if you're just looking for perception, right? And you want people breathing down your neck too soon. You think you would get out in front of that and say, well, as long as we don't get injured in a couple places, I like our chances. But even still, I mean, it was just from an organizational standpoint, it wasn't very organized. And that's something that has to get overwhelmingly better.
That's the bigger thing. When your leader... When somebody comes in and then things appear to be disorganized or in disarray at times, that is never a good look. You'll live with certain kinds of losses. You'll live with certain reasons for losses. What you don't like to see are those losses married to what looked to be confusion and a lack of organization. Then you have a problem. Look, Florida State finished second to last in the ACC in scoring. That's the last of the conversation. Second to last.
This conference, this year.
Yes, second to last in the ACC in scoring.
And that's where, for example, look at Leonard's teams when we were junkyard dogs, not those middle years.
We had an identity
we were
and we knew what we were.
Yeah, but I mean, if we lose 65-60 because we can't score, but we played our butts off and the other team hits a bunch of threes, I get that we turned the ball over a lot those days, but we weren't very skilled. We did everything we could to put ourselves in a
position. Yeah.
With that ragtag group, if you just said put them in an NBA combine, we would be laughed off the court.
Right.
However, somehow, some way, we're winning an ACC tournament title with that group. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, other than Chris Singleton, there really wasn't a whole lot there.
And even he wasn't like some prolific scorer that carried the day.
Tony Douglas, yes.
Yes.
But, I mean, these are the outliers. These aren't the rule. Ryan Reed, that's a monumental occurrence that he was drafted to the NBA.
My God.
But we became greater than the sum of our parts. And I think this year we were much less than the sum of our parts.
Well, that's, I think, pretty much inarguable. So, yeah, that's as you wrap things up today and we get ready to head over to the TLC Double C for a matchup against UNF, who's, by the way, 5-7, 4-7 in their conference. 4-7, I should say, Division I opponents. Once again, an ACC Network Extra webcast only, Tom. So if you want to see the Noles tonight, got to go.
See them with my own damn eyes.
Florida State, as you might imagine, leads the all-time series 3-0, and hopefully tonight make it 4-0. And it's always fun to watch this basketball team. It's fun to watch Phil Kofor kind of get back into shape. Didn't play much the other night. We'll see how much more he plays tonight, if at all.
See if we get out to a quicker start. I'll bet that has been talked about a couple of times, that they look like they weren't ready to play until about 8 o'clock.
I think it's kind of hard, though, man. We're in a unique position these days. We're the number 11th ranked team in the country, Tom. It's UNF. I mean, film don't lie. They know it.
Yeah, but you know what Leonard was like in the preseason.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it drives coaches nuts. It's just a cool problem to have when your guys can afford not to take people seriously.
Let's see if it's back-to-back big efforts from Mr. Vassell, huh?
I love it. He and Nichols, man. Good stuff. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great night. Go Noles. Talk to you tomorrow.